Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, Cabbage Head Fanfics. Back with amazing fanfiction. This is the series of What If Deku Becomes Infected Prototype. Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Izuku was born into a wealthy and happy family, but a terrible fate made him feel unfit to be part of it. When Izuku and his sister Izumi were 4 years old, he eagerly tried to wake her. "Sis, wake up," he urged. Izumi groaned, "Onitan, let me sleep." "Come on, we need to wake up Dad and Mom. Don't you remember today is the day?" Izuku insisted. "What day is today?" Izumi asked, glancing at a calendar adorned with an All Might picture. "Today is Sunday, let me sleep more, Oni-chan." "Yes, today is Sunday, and we're going to check our quirks. Don't you remember?" Izuku reminded her. Izumi shot up in bed. "What? Today is the day. Let's go, Oni-chan. What are you waiting for?" "Yeah, let's go," Izuku exclaimed, and they dashed to their parents' bedroom, banging on the door. Tashinori, their father, mumbled sleepily, "Honey, please check the door." Their mother, Inko, equally sleepy, asked, "Why are you guys banging on our door?" "Mom, don't you remember what day it is?" Izumi exclaimed. "Yeah, don't you remember?" Izuku echoed. "Today is Sunday, let us sleep more," Inko replied. "W-A," the siblings shouted in unison. Inko laughed. "Ha, don't worry, sweeties. I remember that today we're going to the clinic to find out what quirks you guys will get. Now go to your rooms, I'll call when breakfast is ready." "Now go." "Okay," they chimed, returning to their rooms. Inko turned to her husband. "Honey, wake up, it's 7:30 a.m. Don't you need to go to your agency?" Tashinori mumbled in his sleep, "Mr. Tashinori, you will wake up right now or else." Inko warned. "I am up," Tashinori said, suddenly awake. "Now go refresh yourself, I'll prepare breakfast," Inko instructed. "Okay," Tashinori replied playfully, and Inko giggled as she left the room. Later, at the clinic, they waited for their number to be called. Izuku asked his sister, "Izumi, what kind of quirk do you think you will get?" "I don't know, maybe something like telekinesis or All Might," Izumi speculated. "I want an awesome quirk to become a hero like All Might," Izuku declared. "Kids, calm down," Inko gently admonished as Tashinori was at his agency. "Yagis, please come in," called Dr. Ujiko. "It's our number, kids, let's go," Inko said. "Okay." Izuku and Izumi replied in unison. After the checkup, Dr. Ujiko addressed them. "I have your results. What do you guys want to be in the future?" "Heroes," Izuku and Izumi exclaimed. Dr. Ujiko mused. "Mrs. Yagi, I have one good news and one bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?" "The good news," Inko replied nervously. "So, Izumi here has a slightly more powerful version of your quirk, but the backlash is more severe, like headaches and temporary paralysis due to excess usage. However, this can be overcome with enough training," Dr. Ujiko explained. Inko beamed with happiness. "Wow, Izumi, you got a really good quirk." "Yay, I got Mommy's quirk." Izumi cheered. Izuku, eager for his turn, asked, "Doctor, what about mine?" Dr. Ujiko's expression turned somber. "Sorry, kid, but you can't achieve your dream, you're quirkless." Izuku's heart broke. "Wah," he stammered, tears welling up. "What, doctor? There must be something, can you double-check?" Inko pleaded. "I double-checked already, Miss Yagi. Young Izuku here is quirkless," Dr. Ujiko confirmed. Izumi was shocked. "What, Oni-chan is quirkless?" When they returned home, Tashinori greeted them. "You guys came back. How was the test, and what quirk did you get?" Izuku was about to speak when Inko interjected, "Izumi got my quirk, a slightly better version." "Oh, my sweetie got a really good quirk," Tashinori exclaimed, picking up Izumi. "And what about Izuku?" Inko hesitated. He is quirkless." Tashinori tried to remain positive. "Oh, I'm sorry, but we shouldn't be sad. We should at least celebrate for Izumi. Let's go to a restaurant to celebrate. Yay, let's go. Izumi cheered. Izuku forced a smile. Yeah. Okay, first change yourselves, Inko instructed. But in their excitement, they forgot Izuku and left him alone in the house. Izuku cried, "They forgot about me." When they returned, Inko commented, "The dishes were really tasty." Yeah, they were. Izumi agreed. "I'm glad you guys enjoyed," Toshinori said. "Mom, did you get some food for me?" Izuku asked hopefully. What? Izuku, we just ate at the restaurant. Don't you remember? Inko replied. Oh yes, right, Izuku said, pretending to remember. Okay, kids, now brush your teeth and go to sleep, Inko instructed. Izuku thought to himself, they didn't even notice that I wasn't there with them. The next day at the playground, Katsuki called out, Hey, guys. Did you get your quirks? Yeah, did you? Katsumi chimed in. Izumi answered, Well, I got Mom's quirk, but Izuku here is quirkless. What? Katsuki and Katsumi exclaimed in disbelief. But you said we would be heroes together, Katsuki reminded Izuku. Determined, Izuku replied, I will become a hero even though I am quirkless. Katsumi sneered, Huh, now you are nothing but a Deku. Wait, I get it, your name is from now on Deku, which means useless. What, why? Izuku asked, confused. It's kind of a fitting name, Izumi added. Izumi, you too. Izuku exclaimed, hurt. All I am saying is it's true, Izumi said. Well then from now on, your name is Deku, Katsuki and Katsumi taunted, laughing. Izumi joined in their laughter. Haha. Izuku ran away, tears streaming down his face. At home, Izuku approached his mother. Mom, can I still become a hero? What? Izuku, think logically, you can't become a hero without a quirk, Inko replied. Izuku fell silent, but his determination to become a hero remained unshaken. 10 years later, now in middle school, Izuku faced another challenging day. Katsuki and Katsumi approached him. Oi, Deku, are you still thinking about becoming a hero? Katsumi taunted. Yeah, Izuku replied, though fear tinged his voice. Are you looking down on me? Katsuki demanded. Leave him alone. The teacher is coming, Katsumi said. Forget about that dream, nerd. Katsuki spat. The teacher addressed the class. Okay, kids, I have your job wish list. Boring, the class groaned. Ha, I know all of you want to be heroes, and that is a good job, the teacher said. Yeah, the class cheered, except for the trio of rudeness. So we have 3 people applying for UA, the teacher continued. The class began chattering among themselves. Izumi Yagi, Katsuki Bakugo, and Katsumi Bakugo are applying for UA. Oh, here it seems Mr. Izuku is also applying for UA, the teacher announced. The class erupted in laughter at Izuku. Izuku tried to hide his shame, covering himself with his arms. Deku! Katsuki shouted, blasting a small explosion at Izuku. You're looking down on us. Seriously, Izuku, I thought you were smarter than this, Izumi said. Katsumi remained silent. Izuku, who had fallen to the ground from the impact, stood up with bruises. Enough, Katsuki. No using quirks on school grounds, the teacher reprimanded. Katsuki stopped, but the damage was done. During lunch, Izumi approached Izuku. Hey, Deku, give us your money. What? I need it. I don't have any lunch. Izuku protested. Well, too bad. A worthless Deku like you doesn't really need it, Katsuki said, snatching the money from him. What? Give me back my money. Izuku pleaded. You're ordering me. Katsuki shouted. No, just requesting, Izuku stammered. Go to hell. Katsuki retorted. Enough. Izumi said, using her quirk to push Izuku against a locker. Let's go, Katsuki. Before leaving, she stuck a note on him. When Izuku woke up, he found the letter stuck to his battered shirt, which read, Meet us on the rooftop after school. After school ended, Izumi and Katsuki hid nearby, watching the scene unfold. Izuku made his way to the rooftop, where Katsumi was waiting for him. He approached her, his voice tinged with fear. "Hey, how are you doing, Katsumi?" Feigning enthusiasm, Katsumi exclaimed, "Hey, Deku. You know I really like you." Izuku blushed, taken aback by her words. "What? Well, I really like you too, ever since our childhood days." Katsumi muttered under her breath, dismissing him as an idiot. Meanwhile, Katsuki and Izumi laughed while recording the exchange. Suddenly, they emerged, surprising Izuku with mocking expressions. Izumi sneered, "Deku, you're really lame and pathetic. What was that proposal? Ugh, boring idiot. Ha. It's honestly really funny. Did you think a girl like Katsumi would ever like you?" Izuku was shocked, anger and sadness washing over him. He truly liked Katsumi, but now he realized they were making fun of him while recording. "How could you play with my feelings? I thought you guys would change over time, but now you've become monsters," he shouted, his fury palpable. His words only fueled their anger. Katsuki and Katsumi screamed, "Die, Deku," as they unleashed a massive explosion at him, with Izumi amplifying it with her quirk. The powerful blast hurled Izuku off the building, leaving him barely clinging to life on the ground. Horrified by their actions, the trio fled the scene, abandoning Izuku to his fate. In another universe, where the events of Prototype 1 and 2 had taken place, Alex had become a good person and a friend to James. Together, they were battling Pariah, Elizabeth Green's undead son. Pariah taunted them, "Both of you can't stop me now." Alex and James cried out in protest, "No." Pariah continued, "Perhaps it didn't work because I am the hive of Blacklight. Then Blacklight 2.0 will go to another universe where it will cause only havoc." He opened a multiverse portal to the MHA universe and tossed a vial through it. Breaking free from their cells, Alex and James shouted, "No! We are late." Alex urged, "James, let's go and snatch the portal device from him." James agreed, "Let's deal with this." But before they could act, Pariah destroyed the device that created the portals. "No!" they cried. Pariah, melting down, explained, "You know, if you guys had the virus, you could have defeated me. For greater things, we need to sacrifice something, and I used my own energy to open the portal. That's why my body is melting down. Though the flesh is gone, the virus shall grow." James asked, "So is he dead?" Alex replied, "Probably, though I'm not sure." James inquired, "What about Blacklight 2.0? Alex admitted, "I don't know, but we need to get a device like that to stop the havoc in the other universe." Meanwhile, Izuku stood on a skyscraper, lost in thought. When was the last time he felt happy? He had always strived to be acknowledged by his parents and society, but being quirkless left him feeling shattered and dismissed. To them, he was a defective gift. People often misused and abused their gifts, a fact he observed keenly. He longed to be part of them, even though they didn't want him. Izuku jumped down from the skyscraper into an alley, spotting an old ragged couch near a dumpster. Exhausted, he decided to rest. He sat down, then lay back and fell asleep. In a flashback, a young Izuku ran excitedly into his house, eager to talk to his parents. He found only his mother there. "Mom," he called. Inko, busy with documents, replied, "What is it, Izuku?" "I am busy. I was thinking if you could check my report card," he suggested. "Sorry, Izuku, but I am really busy right now. Maybe you can ask your dad," she said, not looking up. "Oh, okay," Izuku murmured. Later, when Toshinori returned from hero work, he greeted his wife. "Hey honey, I am back." Inko welcomed him. "Hey honey. Welcome back." Izumi, just back from the arcade, joined them. "Hey mom and dad, I am back." Inko asked, "Oh hey sweetie, welcome back. Why were you so late?" Izumi hesitated. I was studying with Katsuki and Katsumi." Inko praised her. "Oh, good girl." Izumi then asked, "Hey mom, I was wondering if you could sign my report card." Inko replied, "Well, sweetie, I am a little busy right now. Could you ask your father?" Izumi turned to her dad. "Hey dad, can you sign my report card?" Toshinori obliged. Oh yes, sweetheart. A B+? You're getting better. That's good. Try to do even better, okay? Yes, Dad, don't worry, Izumi assured him. At dinner, the family sat at the table when Izuku approached them. Hey Dad, I was wondering if you could sign my report card? We need to submit it at school tomorrow. Toshinori hesitated. Izuku, could you bring it to me after dinner? Yeah. Mom, where's my dinner? Izuku asked, a daily reminder of his presence. Inko responded absent-mindedly, Izuku, I thought you had your dinner a little earlier. Izuku played along, oh yeah, sorry I forgot. Izumi interjected, hey, Izuku, could you do my homework? Izuku refused, no, Izumi, it's your homework, not mine. Besides, I already finished my homework. Izumi persisted, well, that's great. You could do it even faster. I'm really tired, you know, because of training and studying with Katsuki and Katsumi. Izuku stood firm, no, my answer is still no. But why though? Izumi whined. Inko intervened, enough already. Izuku, could you finish her homework, please? Izuku protested, what? But why? Inko explained, because she is tired from training. As a brother, you should help her, and you don't need to train like her every day. Izuku retorted, what? What kind of excuse is that? Toshinori snapped, enough. Talking back to your parents is really bad behavior. Izuku shot back, yeah. When you only consider me as her brother or your son when you need something. Toshinori's patience snapped, enough. He slapped Izuku, who silently looked back at him. Go to your rooms, both of you now. Toshinori ordered. After the siblings retreated to their rooms, Toshinori remarked, Izuku is becoming more uncivilized and aggressive. Don't you think? Inko agreed, yes, you are right, honey. Back in the present, a portal opened above Izuku's severely injured body, and a vial fell from it, releasing a liquid that spread across him. His body convulsed, and he awoke gasping for air, weak and surrounded by his own blood. What? How am I even alive? I should be dead right now, he wondered aloud. He attempted to stand but was overwhelmed by pain. It hurts everywhere, he cried. Despite the agony, he forced himself to his feet and stumbled into a nearby alleyway. It really hurts, he groaned, determined to keep moving. In agony, Izuku tore his school shirt and collapsed against a nearby wall, sitting shirtless. A hooded thug stumbled upon him in the alleyway, finding his unconscious body. Searching for money, the thug found nothing. Frustrated, he pulled out a gun and shot Izuku 3 times to ensure his death, then called Shiketsu Hasaikai's headquarters to report a suitable body for experimentation. While on the phone, Izuku unexpectedly rose behind him and executed a German suplex, crushing the thug's spine and skull. Tendrils emerged from Izuku's body, consuming the thug, and he felt a strange sense of relief, though a headache surged through him. Confused, he began reliving the thug's memories, unsure of what he had done. Emerging from the alleyway, Izuku walked toward a nearby hospital, seeking answers. Catching his reflection in a car's windshield, he was shocked to see he resembled the hooded thug he had just killed. Not only that, but he was wearing the thug's hoodie, which concealed his face perfectly. He had somehow become the man while still being himself. As he made his way to the hospital, a truck sped toward him. Instinctively, he leaped high over it, leaving both him and the driver astonished. The truck driver apologized for the near accident, and Izuku forgave him, advising caution while driving. Near the hospital, loud explosions drew his attention, and he sprinted toward the sounds. Accidentally jumping high into the air, he wall-ran and climbed to the rooftop of a building. From there, he saw a large green figure engulfed in flames. Leaping from building to building, he reached the crime scene, where 3 people were held hostage by the sludge villain. Recognizing them as his school bullies, he hesitated but ultimately decided to help. He leaped from the building, ignoring the hero's warnings to stay back. Confident in his healing abilities, Izuku dashed toward the villain, deftly dodging sludge tendrils and rescuing the trio from the villain's grasp, bringing them to safety. Leaving them behind, he charged at the villain again. Enraged at losing his hostages, the villain snapped at Izuku, threatening to kill him and use him as a skin suit. The villain hurled his tendrils at Izuku, who destroyed them with his punches and leaped through the sludge villain, smirking as he prepared to confront him. "I don't know what you are, but I'm going to stop you," Izuku declared, forcefully slamming the villain into the ground and consuming him entirely. The crowd and heroes were stunned by his actions. The heroes ordered Izuku to stand down for using his quirk publicly. As Kamui Woods attempted to capture him with his branches, Izuku felt a sharp pain and launched him away with a swift kick. No one saw him move except for one person who arrived just after Izuku's attack. "Stop this, young man. You shouldn't attack anyone. You've committed a crime. Stand down," All Might commanded. Izuku, waking from a memory, thought about the thug's talk of human experimentation, realizing it was something sinister. He felt weak after his earlier encounter. In the flashback, All Might warned, "Stand down, young one, this is your last chance." Izuku remained silent, admiring him. "You won't cooperate, will you? All right then, you're in for some pain." All Might rushed at Izuku, snapping him out of his trance. "What? Ah!" Izuku exclaimed as he was sent crashing into a building. Emerging from the rubble, he said, "I don't want to fight you, All Might." "Too bad. I'm here to capture you for your crimes," All Might replied. Izuku threw the rubble as a distraction to escape. "I thought you were busy with paperwork," said Tolinko, who had arrived just in time. "Can you fly up and find him?" All Might asked. "I couldn't track him, he escaped too quickly," Tolinko responded. Later, All Might appeared before Izumi and her friends, surprising them. "Young Yagi, please stop. I need to talk to you about something important." The trio exclaimed, "Huh, All Might?" "Yes, it is I," he started, but then coughed up blood. The trio gasped, "Dad/Uncle, you're All Might." Tolinko added, "I'm here too." Inko chimed in, "It's me, sweeties." The trio was shocked. "Mom/Auntie, you're Tolinko?" "Yes, we both are heroes, and it's about time you know," Inko explained. Tashinori, still coughing, said, "It's about time, but there's something I want to offer you, and we will discuss it at home." "I'm tired and it looks like they are too," Inko noted. The Bakugos and Yagis parted ways, but another person was hiding nearby. Izuku felt sad and angry. His parents were heroes, yet they had never cared for him. Still, he decided to follow them. When they arrived home, Tashinori said, "All right, sweetie, you know I'm All Might and your mother is Tolinko." "Yes," Izumi replied seriously. "What I'm about to discuss should not leave these walls, okay?" Tashinori instructed. "Yes," Izumi affirmed. "I want to give you my quirk," Tashinori announced. "What? That's impossible!" Izumi exclaimed. Izuku's eyes widened. "I wasn't born with a quirk, I was quirkless. But I had the determination to become a hero. One day, I met Maizu, who trained me and bestowed her quirk upon me, one for all," Tashinori explained. Izuku and Izumi were astonished. "I, Tashinori Yagi, deem you, Izumi Yagi, worthy to become the 9th holder of my quirk." Izuku felt frustrated, thinking, he could have given it to me to pursue my dream. He left the house, while Izumi protested, "No. I knew you would say yes." "Wait, what? Why?" Tashinori asked. "I'm not worthy to be its holder. I've treated my brother poorly, and now he's probably dead." Izumi cried. "What? Who is your brother?" Tashinori and Inko asked in shock. "Don't you even remember your own son?" Izumi retorted. Tashinori and Inko realized their neglect and began to tear up. "Oh no, what have I done?" they said in unison. "Inko, what do you mean he's probably dead?" Tashinori pressed. Izumi was silent, scared. "Tell us now." Tashinori demanded. "Me and the Bakugos pushed him off the school rooftop," Izumi confessed, trembling. "What?" Tashinori and Inko exclaimed. "We have to go, he needs us right now. No time to waste." Inko urged. When they arrived at the crime scene, Tashinori exclaimed, "There's a large pool of blood, but where is he?" "I don't know," We ran away because we were scared. Izumi admitted. Inko suddenly collapsed. Toshi! Mom! Izumi cried. I need to call my friends for help, Toshinori said, reaching out to Tsukachi and Gran Torino. Gran Torino arrived quickly. I came as soon as Toshi called. Tsukachi followed, asking, Where is the spot? Toshinori pointed to the blood pool. Gran Torino and Tsukachi were horrified. What happened here? Our son Izuku was pushed off the building by a villain, Toshinori explained. I need to call for backup, Tsukachi said urgently. Gran Torino was surprised. You had a son? Yes, we have a son. Toshinori confirmed. Why didn't you tell me? Gran Torino asked. Toshinori, concerned for his friend's safety, had hidden his identity as quirkless to protect him from media scrutiny. He didn't reveal the full truth of his actions. Gran Torino, sensing the urgency of the situation, asked Tsukachi if reinforcements were on their way. Tsukachi confirmed they were and requested Gran Torino's phone number, explaining that he might be able to assist with the case and potentially recruit another hero for the investigation. Gran Torino agreed and handed over his contact information. Months passed with no breakthroughs in the investigation. After 8 months, the case was closed, and Izuku was officially declared dead. The Yagis held a burial ceremony attended by the Bakugos and some of Toshinori's friends, though the true circumstances of Izuku's disappearance remained a secret known only to a select few. Despite the official conclusion, someone continued to investigate. From a rooftop, Izuku watched his own burial, driven by a single thought. He would change the world for the quirkless and become a force against those who had tormented him. In a neighborhood, Izuku searched for the Shiketsu High base, relying on memories from a captured thug. As he wandered, a frightened girl in a medical gown ran to him, clutching his legs. Recognizing her fear, he reassured her that she was safe with him. What's wrong, kid? Why are you scared? Can I help you? He asked gently. Please save me, the girl pleaded, confirming to Izuku that she was in danger. Just then, a man in a bird-like mask approached. Eri, stop running away, the man said. I'm sorry if my daughter bothered you. Izuku replied, No, it's quite all right. The man urged Eri to come to him, but she clung tighter to Izuku, clearly terrified. Izuku whispered calming words to her, and she reluctantly let go, walking toward the man. The man thanked Izuku and led Eri back into the shadows of an alley. Curious, Izuku asked, What is your name, mister? The man replied ominously, You don't want to hear my name. And why is that? Izuku pressed. Because you will not live after that, the man declared, and with a touch to the ground, spikes shot through Izuku's chest, rendering him limp. Though you asked nicely, I'll tell you. My name is Kai Chisaki, leader of the Shiketsu High clan, the man revealed. Eri, witnessing the violence, fainted as Kai carried her away. Despite his injuries, Izuku's body began to move. Kai Chisaki, you will pay. I will bring your clan down and save that child, he vowed. Izuku hunted down members of the Hassaikai clan, consuming them to uncover the location of their headquarters. After 3 days, he stood outside the Shiketsu High HQ, a large warehouse. Mission Demise is on the go, he declared, shape-shifting into a clan member to infiltrate the facility. He silently eliminated members as he advanced, eventually encountering 8 guards. Where are the others? Did they go on a mission? One asked. Determined to leave no one alive, Izuku swiftly dispatched them, their hearts pierced silently. Swift and easy. No sound. I like that, he mused. He opened a door to find Kai cleaning tools, with Eri caged and scarred. Kai questioned Izuku's presence, but Izuku was resolute. The clan will be no more, and you will meet your maker soon. Kai, realizing the bloodshed, demanded, Who are you? Your demise, Izuku replied. Kai attacked with his quirk, sending spikes at Izuku, who dodged and retaliated. As Kai was thrown back, Izuku seized the opportunity to hide Eri in a dumpster, using his powers to heal her scars. Emerging from his hiding spot, Izuku was slammed by a massive creature made of cement and metal. Despite his fatigue, he fought back, determined to protect Eri. Kai, desperate, shouted, Who are you? What did you achieve? Izuku, fueled by frustration, replied, "Tio become human from just a blood-soaked monster?" Charging forward, Izuku smashed through the creature, pulling out a severely injured Kai. Consumed by rage, he absorbed Kai, driven by hatred for those who had caused him and others pain. Transformed into a hooded figure, Izuku caught his breath and remembered Eri. He found her sleeping peacefully in the dumpster and picked her up, ready to leave. Suddenly, a scarf wrapped around him, and he turned to see a man in goggles. "Put the child down. You are under arrest," the man commanded. "Are you a new type of police officer or something?" Izuku retorted. "I said put the child down," the man insisted. "What are your intentions for this child?" Izuku asked cautiously. "I am here to rescue those in need and arrest villains," the man replied. Sensing truth in his words, Izuku asked, "Can I be assured that she will be safe with you?" "I can assure you she will be safe with me. I will protect her with my life," the man promised. Izuku inquired about the man's name, hoping to remember who had captured him. The man, however, was reluctant to share his identity. "You don't need to know my name," he replied. Izuku persisted, offering a small concession. "Just so I can remember who captured me. A tiny request, and I will hand over the child willingly." "My hero name is Eraserhead," the man finally revealed. Satisfied, Izuku agreed. "Alright, take the child. She needs good and loving parents. Can you take care of her?" Eraserhead assured him, "I will try my best to keep her safe and help her heal." Reassured, Izuku approached and carefully handed over Eri. "Now come with me," Eraserhead said, activating his quirk. "You are under arrest." Izuku, however, had other plans. "Sorry, Eraser, I can't let you do that," he replied, easily breaking free and swiftly knocking Eraserhead unconscious. He gently shook Eri awake. When she opened her eyes and saw him, her face lit up with joy, warming Izuku's heart. He steeled himself and spoke to her. "Okay, Eri, this man who is now unconscious will keep you safe from now on." "Did I do something wrong?" she asked, fear creeping into her voice. "Will he hurt me like that evil man?" Izuku calmly reassured her, "I will keep you safe. No one will hurt you." He encouraged her to wake the man. "Will we ever meet again?" Eri asked, worry in her eyes. "Maybe in the future. When that time comes, I want you to smile like a bright sun, okay?" "How do I smile?" she asked. "Like this," he said, giving her a bright smile. "Like this," she mimicked, and he nodded, saying his farewell. He reminded her to wake up Eraserhead and then took a huge leap into the air, smiling for the first time in a long while. Unbeknownst to him, he had reverted to his original form, and Eri would remember him as her savior, the one who rescued her from her nightmares and would ensure she found loving parents. Izuku wandered through the city of Mustafu, searching for a new hideout. As he walked, he noticed 3 men attacking a girl in a dark alley. He approached one of the criminals from behind and swiftly incapacitated him. The body fell with a heavy thud, alerting the others. "What did you do to him?" "You killed him," one criminal shouted, preparing to attack. "Take this for killing our friend," another yelled, launching projectiles from his fingers. The bullets bounced off Izuku's body, surprising everyone, including him. "Well then, who shall go to Ms. Death?" he grinned. As the criminals attempted to flee, they found themselves on the ground, their heads crushed under Izuku's feet. The girl, who had been the target of their attack, watched in horror as her savior took down her assailants. Though she was unsure if she was safe due to the intense aura Izuku was giving off, she accidentally asked a question out of curiosity and fear. "What? Are you not going to hurt me?" Izuku turned around, feeling awkward because he didn't want to frighten her but only save her from danger. No. I wasn't here to hurt you. I thought you were in danger." "Oh, thank you," the girl replied. "Before you go, could you call the police? A crime took place here." "But why?" she asked. "There's a CCTV camera right outside the alleyway. If you go out, you might be seen, and when this scene is discovered, you could be accused of it." "What? Wouldn't it be in your favor if I got accused?" "No, I don't want anyone to be blamed for my actions." I take responsibility for what I do. I won't let an innocent person be accused. Oh, thanks again, and sorry for asking that odd question. It's alright, don't worry about it. I'll be on my way. Take care and be careful. Wait, what is your name? My name. Kokoshibo, he said, using a fake name to hide his real identity. Thank you again for saving me, Kokoshibo, she said, bowing in gratitude. She stood up. She saw he was already gone. She then called her parents and the police as he suggested. Meanwhile, Izuku was jumping from building to building when an idea struck him. He jumped into a nearby manhole and discovered a new hideout in the sewage where he could relax. After some time, he resurfaced to look for any crimes. While doing so, he accidentally activated one of the criminal's quirks, causing spikes to emerge from his hands. Surprised, he realized it was the quirk of the criminal he had defeated. When he tried to extend the spikes, they formed a claw-like structure that was sharp and lightweight. He found that using the claw made him much faster, moving like a blur through the city. He traveled miles in seconds without tiring, and while on Mount Fuji, he marveled at the beauty of nature. Wow, nature has flourished because humans have been busy with their quirks. There is so much to explore. While lost in thought, he touched a tree and accidentally absorbed its biomass, killing it instantly. He felt sad but relieved that it wasn't a human or another living being. As he wandered, he found a rabbit caught in a trap but still alive. He freed the rabbit and healed its wound using his powers. However, he noticed the rabbit was following him. "What are you doing, little buddy? Go back to your family," he urged. The rabbit remained still, and Izuku was confused. He found a small lake and sat down to relax, noticing the rabbit still observing him. He directed the rabbit to come closer, and to his surprise, it obeyed. Just then, he heard a hiss behind him and saw a snake preying on the rabbit. He was about to pick up the rabbit when it transformed into a large beast, scooping up the snake effortlessly. Izuku went into defensive mode, realizing the rabbit was waiting for something. "Are you waiting for my command? Let's see." "Hey, can you change back to your cute fluffy form, please?" he asked. The creature instantly transformed back into a fluffy rabbit. "Can you understand me?" he inquired. The rabbit nodded, and he was amazed. He realized he could communicate with living beings that came into contact with his biomass. He approached a nearby tree, touched it, and spread some of his virus. "Hey tree, can you lift me up with your branches?" he requested. In an instant, a branch grabbed him comfortably and lifted him high, leaving him astonished. "No way! It really did that. Am I dreaming?" he wondered, pinching himself to confirm it was real. He realized he needed to keep this ability a secret, otherwise, the military might want to capture him. After the joyride, Izuku asked the tree to put him down safely, and it complied. However, he soon realized that the UA exams were approaching, and he knew his bullies would be participating. Determined to keep an eye on them, he decided to scout the city of Mustafu for vantage points. As Izuku wandered near a large warehouse, an old woman in peculiar robes called out to him from behind a desk. Despite feeling uneasy, he approached her. "Hello? Did you need something from me?" "I don't have any money," he said cautiously. The mysterious woman smiled warmly. "Oh no, young one, you don't need to pay me." Curiosity piqued, Izuku asked, "Then why did you call me?" "Because, Izuku, I need an eye from you," she replied. Alarmed, he questioned, "Who are you, and how do you know my name?" "I am here to help, but I need you to give me one of your eyes." "Don't worry, I know you have the ability to heal yourself," she explained calmly. "How do you know about me?" he pressed further. "Please, just give me one of your real eyes," she insisted. "And why would I do that?" Izuku retorted, his wariness growing. "Believe me, I mean no harm," she assured him, her voice carrying a sense of truth. Compelled by her words, he reluctantly plucked his right eye from its socket and handed it to her. The old woman began to chant in a language he couldn't understand, squeezing blood from the eye and pouring it onto an ancient-looking dagger. She handed the dagger to Izuku, pointing its sharp edge toward his chest. "What am I supposed to do with this?" he asked, confusion washing over him. "Stab yourself," she said quietly. Before he could react, the old lady unexpectedly pushed the dagger into his chest, catching him off guard. Was that supposed to hurt? Because I didn't feel any pain surged through him as golden strings of light enveloped his body. What is happening to me? It hurts, he screamed. May the gods show you the path you should follow to keep the world safe, she said, before stabbing herself with a silver dagger, ending her own life. Izuku fell unconscious, and when he regained awareness 2 hours later, he found the spot where the old lady's body had been was now just ashes. The dagger was gone, and so was the wound on his chest, leaving him bewildered. He stood up, trying to process what had happened, and began walking toward his hideout, pondering who the lady was and what she had hoped to gain by stabbing him. Later, Izuku found himself in the sewage hideout of Mustafa City, where he had heard rumors about the infamous hero killer. Intrigued, he wandered through the sewage system, lost in thought. Suddenly, he discovered a door that appeared to lead to a maintenance room. As he approached, the door opened automatically, drawing his attention. Inside, it was pitch dark, but as he stepped in, everything changed in an instant. He found himself in the middle of a desert, with the door nowhere in sight. Alert, he sensed someone behind him and prepared to kick, but a figure caught his leg. When he looked up, he was taken aback by a human skeleton clad in strange robes, its skull replaced by a crow's. Stop at once, Izuku, the skeletal figure commanded. Izuku tensed, ready for a fight. Who is Izuku? My name is Kokushibo, he declared defiantly. I know who you are and what you have gone through, Izuku. I want to talk with the real you face to face, the skeletal figure replied. Feeling a little pressured by the ominous presence of the figure, Izuku emerged from his disguise. All right, mister, now tell me, how do you know my name? He asked, realizing he was shirtless after having worn a thug's outfit earlier. The mysterious skeletal figure replied, I will answer your questions, but first, let's introduce ourselves and get you something to wear. Izuku looked down and noticed his previously weak body was now packed with muscles, surprising him. After the skeletal figure provided him with a robe, he introduced himself. My name is Khonshu. I am known to you mortals as the Heliopolis god of the moon and vengeance. Izuku, skeptical, replied, a god of what, moon and vengeance? Nice try, but I think you should try it on someone else. Khonshu frowned but decided to let it slide. Listen here, mortal, I brought you here because I want you to be one of my champions. Oh, how nice, Izuku said sarcastically. Khonshu, now angry, retorted, you are in my realm, and you're speaking rudely to a god. Izuku, annoyed, shot back, and how am I supposed to believe you're a god? Khonshu thought for a moment before responding, perhaps I can show you how you got your powers. Curious, Izuku asked, and how did I get my powers? Khonshu explained, the power you wield is a disease itself, a biological weapon created to cause chaos in any world. Izuku was taken aback. So my power came from a disease? How is that possible? Do you know about the multiverse? Khonshu asked. Well, it's just a theory. It was never proven, Izuku replied. Let me show you, Khonshu said, revealing events from Izuku's past. So, a mysterious vial was thrown out of a portal by someone carrying the disease? What kind of disease is this? Izuku questioned. The portal was from another universe, a wormhole. Someone threw the vial to cause chaos, but fortunately, your wounded body mixed with the weapon. The virus and you became one entity. Izuku was confused. Wait, so I'm carrying a virus? No, you are the virus now. Your almost dead body was revived when it came into contact with the ultimate biological weapon. Your consciousness took over the virus, which is why you can grow stronger infinitely. Izuku was now more confused than ever. So, I am actually dead? No, you are the virus now. The virus healed your body by becoming part of you, Khonshu clarified. Izuku pondered, so what am I supposed to do? I wanted revenge. What you do is your own decision. None will take that away from you, not even a god like myself. But right now, you play a big role in this universe, and I need you to help keep it safe. I will show you the way. Are you going to stop me from getting my revenge, even though you are the god of moon and vengeance? Izuku asked. No, I will not. Like I said, it's your decision to seek revenge or let go of your past. But right now, I need you to defeat someone who must be stopped. And who is that? Izuku inquired. Do not worry about it right now. When you are needed, I will contact you or send my other champion, Khonshu replied. Who is that other champion? Izuku asked. You don't need to worry about him. Focus on what is in your hands now. Farewell, Blood Knight. I will pray for your well-being. As Izuku found himself in front of a door that had vanished, he returned to his hideout to rest, overwhelmed by the revelations. Just as he was about to sleep, he noticed markings beginning to carve themselves onto both of his hands, leaving him to wonder about the path he had embarked upon. Later, Izuku wandered through a appealing mountain forest, captivated by the splendor of nature. As he explored, he stumbled upon a massive rock and climbed it, only to feel it pulsing as if it were alive. Intrigued, he prodded it with his spikes, causing the rock to shake violently. He quickly jumped down, astonished to see a giant figure rising, a man as large, if not larger, than Mount Lady. Who are you? And what are you doing here? The giant man demanded. Izuku responded, well, I was just wandering in the forest when I stumbled upon you. Are you a hero? The giant man asked. Nope, Izuku replied. Even if you aren't a hero, I cannot let any witness live to thwart my MSDR's plan, the giant declared, swinging a punch at Izuku. Izuku was struck by the punch but healed instantly. Frick. Now you'll wish you never started this conflict, he shouted, leaping up to slash at the giant with his claws, though causing only minimal damage. The giant roared, "H-A!" and attempted to smash Izuku with his fist, but he was too slow. Izuku deftly evaded the attack, taunting, "Take this, you big turd." He used his claws to stab the giant's left arm, then spread spikes to inflict further damage, ultimately destroying the man's left arm. He continued to weaken the other arm until he sliced it off. You will not be a barrier in my MSDR's way, the giant bellowed. Ignoring the villain's threats, Izuku slashed and sent spikes into the giant's head, killing him instantly. You would have killed me if I didn't have this power. You could be useful to me, Izuku mused. He then shoved his hand into the giant's nearly destroyed head, spreading a virus. As the body became infected, it healed rapidly, returning to its former state and bowing before him. Please, no need to bow. I just want to know your previous name and your MSDR's name, Izuku requested. My previous name was Gigantomachia, and my MSDR's name was All for One, the giant replied. Izuku's eyes widened at the mention of the alternate name, One for All. Realizing the connection, he said, okay, so you're my follower, I guess. You're my lord, I am your servant, as you are the hive mind itself, Gigantomachia affirmed. Well, that felt good, and at the same time, it felt like praise. Now I have to find a huge hideout for you, Izuku said. Do not worry, MSDR. I can turn into biomass and hide in nature until you need me, Gigantomachia assured him. You've certainly become much smarter than before. Okay then, wait for my call, I guess. But wait, how will you turn into biomass? Izuku inquired. By thinking about water, I can shapeshift into liquid biomass and hide in nature's biomass, Gigantomachia explained. Oh, you really have become much smarter than before. But I didn't know that was possible. One thing, don't even think about consuming nature or any other being's biomass without my permission, Izuku warned. I will remember it, Gigantomachia promised. Izuku bid farewell to the giant and walked back toward the hideout, new knowledge swirling in his mind. Well, Gigantomachia will certainly be useful for me. There isn't much time left before the hero school's entrance exams. I should create a fake identity to get into one of the schools for my plans, he thought. Izumi lay in bed, lost in thoughts of Izuku. She missed him dearly and regretted leaving her brother to fend for himself against the world. Instead, she had become one of his tormentors. Haunted by hallucinations, she saw distorted forms of Izuku confronting her in her room. She tried to fend them off, but many appeared bloodied and wounded, while others were nightmarish, with faces protruding from all over their bodies. The nightmarish Izuku taunted her with terrible words that haunted her for months. "I have been given flesh to be your tormentor," one nightmare Izuku said. "Let's die again and again and again," another taunted. "Your screams are like music to my ears," a distorted Izuku sneered. "I know who my family and friends are, and you aren't one of them," a wounded Izuku declared. These nightmares plagued not only Izumi but also affected Katsumi and Katsuki, each experiencing different versions of Izuku with varying comments. Izumi always awoke in her bed, feeling as if Izuku's ghost tormented her. Izumi loved her brother more than just as a sibling, but to hide her feelings, she had become his bully. Katsumi suffered even more. She became much more silent. Once a glowing, attractive gyre who modeled and was one of the appealing girls in middle school, she loved Izuku deeply but feared her modeling and hero career would suffer if she dated or even mentioned liking a quirkless person. This fear led her to bully him as well, suppressing her feelings. After the incident, she lost her glow, realizing that all her attractiveness was to get Izuku to like her, and she had destroyed her own chance. "Please be well, Izuku, wherever you are now." "I am sorry, Izuku. I loved you. Instead of being your friend and lover, I became your bully. I hope you forgive me," Katsumi whispered, her face darkened and marked by sleepless nights. Katsuki experienced some nightmares but eventually overcame them. He never liked Izuku, finding him annoying and believing he only followed him for attention. He thought Izuku looked down on him, even though he was quirkless and could become a hero without a quirk. At school, except for the two girls, Katsuki remained his usual egotistical self, considering himself a god and others as his peasants. He even tried to ask Izumi out on a date, but she refused, as she had a crush on her brother. When he discovered her feelings, he was upset, and that was one reason he became a bully. Even after Izuku's death, he couldn't get Izumi to date him. 3 months after the funeral at the Yagi household. During breakfast, silence enveloped the room. Inko appeared to have cried herself to sleep every night. Tashinori buried himself in work, consumed by regrets for neglecting his own child, who had to fend for himself, just like him. His son was quirkless, yet he had a strong longing to be a hero, but Tashinori had rejected him without giving him a chance. At the dining table, Tashinori spoke up. "Izumi, I have decided to give you one for all." "What?" "I can't. I'm not worthy of it," Izumi exclaimed. "You may feel unworthy, but I have no other choice. I want you to have it and use it for good to clear your sins," Tashinori insisted. "I can't. Izuku was the one who should wield the quirk. He had a strong longing to become a hero, unlike me, who misused my quirk," Izumi protested. Tashinori pleaded with Izumi, "Please, you are the only one I trust completely. I know Izuku was more deserving, but he isn't here anymore. I didn't even know what my son was capable of. Please, fulfill this old man's request." Feeling the weight of his words, Izumi eventually relented and began her training. By the 11th month, she had managed to HRNSS 1 for all at about 10%. During lunch at school, Izumi sat with the Bakugos. "So, how is your training going, guys?" she asked. Katsuki replied confidently, "I'm well prepared for the exams, but Katsumi stopped training a long time ago." "Why?" Izumi inquired, turning to Katsumi, who had been silent until then. Katsumi finally spoke, her voice tinged with despair. "So that I can fail the test and join Izuku in the afterlife." Both Izumi and Katsuki were taken aback. The confident girl they knew now seemed ready to give up. Katsuki, thinking it was a joke, laughed. "Ha! Nice one." But Katsumi's expression remained serious. "I wasn't joking." Izumi pressed further, "But why?" Katsumi's voice trembled with emotion. "Because I love him. I bullied him like you guys and played with his feelings." Fury surged through Izumi. "Then you could have been on his side the whole time. Why now?" Katsumi shot back. "Then why didn't you protect him as his sister? You bullied him like me." Izumi's voice cracked with emotion. "Because I didn't want to ruin our relationship. I loved him more than a brother and kept my feelings suppressed. But why didn't you help him? Katsumi's voice softened, filled with regret. Because I didn't want the world to judge me for loving someone quirkless. Izumi, now furious, shouted, "How could you?" Katsumi fell silent, guilt weighing heavily on her. Meanwhile, Katsuki seethed with jealousy, thinking, even after dying, you're still messing with me, Deku. That night at the Yagi household, Inko cried herself to sleep while Toshinori lay awake, lost in thought. After an hour of trying to find peace, exhaustion finally claimed him. In Toshinori's dream, a mysterious voice echoed, "You aren't worthy anymore, Toshinori. But the quirk still can't leave you as it hasn't been passed on fully." Another voice added, "I am disappointed in you, Toshinori." The scene shifted to Izumi's dream. Instead of her usual nightmares, she found herself in a dark place, hearing voices. "You aren't worthy to become the 9th user, but we don't have much choice," one voice said. "If he were still alive, he could have wielded it," another lamented. Izumi knew the voices spoke the truth. She felt like a villain for what she had done to her brother. As the UA exams approached, Izumi stood in front of the school, having declined her father's offer for a recommendation. She wanted to prove herself as a worthy hero and a good sister. Katsumi was there because her parents wanted her to succeed, and Katsuki stood by her, driven by his own determination. Together, Katsuki and Izumi declared, "Let's do this." Meanwhile, Izuku sat in a park, torn between seeking revenge or leaving the past behind to start anew. His heart and mind were at odds, but his dream of becoming a hero remained steadfast. As he rose to leave, he stumbled upon a child, beaten and lying in a pool of blood. Without hesitation, Izuku rushed to the child's side. The child, barely conscious, wore ragged clothes and appeared malnourished. Izuku gently cradled the child's head in his lap, urging him to stay awake. "Hey, listen buddy. Don't close your eyes. I will bring you back to full health, just don't give up," he pleaded, tears welling in his eyes. The wounded child looked up weakly. "Who are you, and why are you so kind to me? I am just a useless child. I am nothing." "Don't say that," Izuku insisted. "What would happen to your parents if they saw you like this?" The child replied, "My parents. They did this to me. I am useless to them. They just discarded me. You don't need to worry about me." He smiled, holding back tears. "No kid, you're not useless. No one can prove that wrong, I can guarantee it. Just stay awake with me, okay?" Izuku urged, but the child pleaded, "Please. Let me rest. I am tired of this cruel world. My soul might not be useful, but my body might be. Please accept my—" He succumbed to his injuries. Izuku cried out, realizing that bringing the child back to life might cause more harm than good. Like Izuku, the child was a gift, just not the one his parents wanted. Heartbroken, Izuku wanted to honor the child's wishes in death. He consumed the child's body, overwhelmed with guilt for letting an innocent life slip away. Suddenly, the child's memories flooded his mind. He saw the child with his parents, excited to check his quirk at the clinic. The quirk doctor informed them, "Your son has a quirk named Tentacles. It's not very powerful, but—" The child's father interrupted, "It's all right, doctor. Thank you for checking him. Let's go home." The child, feeling sad, called out, "Dad, Mom, do you think I can still be a hero with a weak quirk?" but was abruptly silenced by a harsh punch from his father. "You are nothing but a disappointment and disgrace to our family. In our family, everyone becomes a hero with powerful quirks. You are a pest, born as my son, nothing but garbage." His mother added, "You seriously disappoint me. You will certainly make a bad impression on our family. You're pathetic and worthless." Izuku felt anger boiling inside him. He accidentally manifested tentacles from his back, and one of his eyes turned black with ghoulish red pupils. The mental pain he felt was immense. The child had endured neglect and abuse, leading him to believe he was useless. Izuku vowed that those responsible would pay for their actions. As he stepped out of the alleyway, a mysterious voice whispered, "Yes, a bloody revenge. Revenge." The screams echoed in his mind, and he fell unconscious. When he awoke, he found himself in a dark place, blood covering the floor. The voice returned, "Yes, revenge." Izuku saw a figure before him, his distorted dark side. "You and I are the same, one being with one mind divided into two," Darkseid declared. "Where am I?" Izuku demanded, readying himself for a fight. But Darkseid swiftly overpowered him, slamming him into the ground. "I will get revenge for both of us," Darkseid vowed. Just as he was about to consume Izuku, he vanished from sight. Darkseid was surprised by Izuku's sudden change. When he looked back, he saw Izuku had become the perfect balance of light and dark. Izuku fought back fiercely, tentacles emerging from his body as he battled Darkseid. After an intense struggle, he consumed Darkseid, feeling a surge of power. "Thank you, Izuku," Darkseid exclaimed as he was devoured, becoming part of Izuku. Regaining consciousness, Izuku stood up, his hair shifting to a greenish white. Tears streamed down his face as he reflected on the battle he had fought against his darker self. He began to mutter something, scratching at himself in turmoil. Izuku Midoriya was overwhelmed with emotion, tears streaming down his face as he repeatedly apologized. Realizing his cries were causing a commotion, he quickly retreated to a nearby manhole to avoid the gathering crowd. It was the day of the hero exams, and students were bustling around various hero schools. Izuku found himself standing in front of Shiketsu High. He had considered attending UA's hero exams but decided against it due to some unpleasant classmates. Instead, he had hacked into a citizen's website to create a fake identity, adopting the name Takeuchi Dunade, a peculiar foreign name. He described his quirk as having large tentacles with passive healing abilities. Today is the day, Izuku thought to himself, reflecting on the effort it took to craft his false identity. As he walked, he tripped over a rock, only to be caught by a stranger. "Hey buddy, be careful when you're walking while distracted," the cheerful stranger advised. Izuku steadied himself and replied, "Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. My name is Dunade Takeuchi." "Oh, a foreigner taking hero exams in our country. My name is Yorashi Inesa, nice to meet you," the stranger introduced himself. "Thanks, same. My father was a foreigner and my mum was Japanese," Izuku explained. "Why are you using the past tense?" Inesa inquired. "Because they are gone." "To me," Izuku replied quietly. "Oh, I'm sorry," Inesa said, sensing the weight of Izuku's words. "It's okay. We should go. The exam won't wait for us, new friend," Izuku suggested. "Oh yes, we should hurry." "Wait, did you call me friend?" Inesa asked, surprised. Izuku paused and turned around. "Yes, we are." "Aren't we?" "Oh yes. Let's go," Inesa agreed enthusiastically. After the exams, Izuku unexpectedly encountered Inesa again. "How did it go, Dunade-kun?" Inesa asked. "It went well, Yorashi-san. I wonder what type of classmates we will meet if we pass," Izuku mused. "Me too. Well, I have to go home, or my mum will be very angry if I'm late. See you soon," Inesa said, waving goodbye. "Bye, Yorashi-san," Izuku replied, waving back. He then set off to visit the underworld, hoping to find something interesting. He scaled a building and disappeared into a villain outpost he had been monitoring. "Hello, is there anyone here?" Izuku called out, only to be surrounded by several people, their quirks activated and ready. "Who are you and what are you doing here?" a random villain demanded, pointing a weapon at him. "I was told that I would be given jobs here," Izuku explained. "Who told you that?" the villain asked. "A thug with a spike-type quirk," Izuku replied. "Oh, Multer. You know him?" the villain inquired. "I met him at a mobile ramen restaurant," Izuku said. "Well, we have jobs. You can join us and get a cut since you know our dear friend. Brothers, a new brother has joined our gang. Let's enjoy," the villain announced. "Oh please no. I really need money, so if we can go to jobs, that would help me," Izuku pleaded. "All right, we were about to go there before you arrived, but join us for the party," the villain offered. Izuku soon found himself at a secret bar, where he encountered two mysterious figures. One was a misty man, and the other was adorned with hands all over his body. Hello, fellow villains. Welcome to the hideout of the League of Villains. My name is Kurojairi, and this young man's name is Tamura Shigaraki. He is the leader of this group. You may call him Young Mr. Kurojairi introduced. Hey, why would we call a guy our MSTR? We are here for jobs, not to serve anyone, a villain protested. Tamura, visibly irritated, maintained his composure. Mr. Kurojairi, you look more mature than this hand-obsessed guy, Izuku remarked, discreetly injecting Kurojairi with something unnoticed by the others. Tamura, now furious, was about to confront Izuku when Kurojairi intervened. However, Tamura couldn't hold back. Hey, you hooded BSTRD. I am the boss here. If you can't give me respect, then get the hell out. Tamura snapped. Before anyone else could speak, Izuku interjected, yeah, I don't need your jobs. Sorry, guys, I can't work here, but we can work together in the future. Bye. He quickly exited the bar but lingered in the shadows to eavesdrop on their plans about a weapon that could kill the symbol of peace, piquing his curiosity. Time passed, and Izuku found himself at Shiketsu High, having learned he passed and was now one of their first-year students. Standing before the first-year classroom, he was about to enter when he heard a familiar voice. Hiai. Dunade-kun, you made it too. Inesa called out as he approached Izuku. So we are in the same class. What do you think our classmates will be like? I don't know. I haven't met them. Let's enter and find out, Izuku replied. As they opened the door, they saw 3 more students who had arrived before them, 1 blonde girl and 2 boys, all first-year students like themselves. A cheerful voice startled them as they were about to enter. It was Ms. Joke, a female hero Izuku recognized. What are you guys waiting for? Go inside, Ms. Joke encouraged. As they entered and took their designated seats, she continued, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Aizawa, and my hero name is Ms. Joke. What are your names? A blonde girl stood up first. My name is Kami Atsushimi. My quirk is glamour, which can put people in a trance. Next, a guy with messy hair introduced himself. My name is Nagamasamura. My quirk is extendo hair. Then a guy with purple hair stood up. My name is Shishikura Seiji. My hero name is Meatball. Hope we can be friends. Inesa stood up next. My name is Yorashi Inesa. My quirk is Whirlwind. Hope we can be great friends, he said with a slight bow. Everyone is done. Oh, you last, introduce yourself, Ms. Joke prompted with a smile. Izuku stood up. My name is Takeuchi Danade. My quirk is Tentacles, he said before sitting down. Alright, everyone is done. Before we start your education, we should set some goals, Ms. Joke announced, piquing everyone's curiosity. Let's aim to be better than UA and become great heroes, alright? The room fell silent until Izuku spoke up. Yeah, sure, a nice challenge sounds good. His words seemed to bolster the confidence of the other students, who quickly agreed. Later, at lunchtime in the cafeteria, Izuku was about to sit at an empty table when Inesa called him over to join the others. As he joined them, he quietly ate, feeling a sense of unease about fitting in. After lunch, Izuku and his classmates returned to their classroom, where they found Ms. Joke humming happily. As everyone settled into their seats, class resumed. At the end of the school day, Ms. Joke addressed her students with a cheerful announcement. Okay, everyone, tomorrow UA's Class 1A will be heading to their rescue training center, USJ, and I'll be putting a small camera on my husband to record the class, she said. Inesa raised a concern, but ma'am, isn't that a violation of privacy? Ms. Joke waved off the worry with a smile. Oh, don't worry. If you think spreading knowledge is a violation, then all education is. It won't harm anyone. The students were a bit unsettled by their teacher's plan, but Izuku remained neutral, as he planned to visit USJ as well. Just then, the bell rang, signaling it was time to go home. All right, little heroes, go home. Take care and be safe on your way. We don't want our future heroes getting hurt or into trouble, Ms. Joke advised. On his way home, Izuku decided to visit the graveyard. Upon arrival, he saw two people near his grave. As he approached, he recognized them as Izumi and Katsumi, who were praying for him. This sight filled Izuku with anger. When he was alive, they had ignored him, and now they were trying to connect with him. As he stood there, the two girls turned around, startled to see him. "Oh, are you paying a visit to him?" Izumi asked, pointing at the grave. "Yes," Izuku replied. "I didn't know he had any other friends besides us," Izumi continued. "Yeah, we were his friends." "I never saw you with him," Katsumi added. "I'm from another school. We met in the park during our childhood and became best friends." "He was my only best friend," Izuku explained, leaning toward the grave. "Izuku, if you're listening, believe me, I will make those who hurt you pay for their actions." As he spoke, a chilling aura surrounded him, causing the girls to feel uneasy. "You will feel the pain I endured, and you will suffer endlessly. You don't know what I've been through," he declared before walking back to his hideout to rest. Meanwhile, Izumi and Katsumi were gasping for air. Who was he, and what did he do that made us run away? Izumi wondered aloud. In the OFA vestige area, all the previous users felt the intensity of Izuku's presence. Who was he? What was that commitment? The first user questioned. "I don't know, but we need to be careful around him." "I feel like I know him," the second user replied. "No, you're right. I felt that too," the seventh user agreed. "I don't know what the future holds for us," the fifth user added. In the Yagi family home, Izumi shared her encounter with her parents. "Mom, Dad, I found someone who was Izuku's friend." "What? Who is he?" Tashinori and Inko exclaimed in unison. I forgot to ask his name," Izumi admitted, sticking out her tongue. "Where did you meet him?" Tashinori inquired. "Katsumi and I were praying for Izuku's spirit to rest at his grave when he appeared behind us, startling us. What scared us even more was that he said he would find Izuku's killer and make them pay," Izumi explained. Tashinori and Inko exchanged worried glances, petrified at the thought of their daughter being involved in something so dangerous. Meanwhile, in his hideout, Izuku observed the villains through Kurojire's eyes. He noticed that the Misty Man was preparing a weapon intended to defeat All Might, a large, muscular creature with a bird-like head and exposed brain, which Izuku recognized as its weak spot. The villains had hacked into the USJ's security system to disable alarms and monitor when the class would arrive. Just as he was about to leave, Kurojire opened a portal, and all the villains entered the USJ. Shigaraki commanded the villains to attack. Izuku hesitated but then recalled Shigaraki's orders: attack the heroes and their students. "Kurojire, you know what to do." Kurojire approached the students, who were being protected by 13. "Who are you, and how did you get inside the USJ without alerting the security system?" 13 demanded. "Let me introduce ourselves. My name is Kurojire, and we are the League of Villains. Now, where is All Might?" "He was supposed to be here," Kurojire replied. As he spoke, Katsuki and Katsumi attempted to attack him, but their efforts were in vain. "Who is the fastest one here?" 13 asked. "I am, ma'am," Tenya replied. "All right, we'll distract him while you get other heroes. You need to go now," 13 instructed. "No, I can't leave my friends here. They will be in danger," Tenya protested. "And if you don't get backup, our chances of survival will decrease. Go now," 13 insisted. Realizing the urgency, Tenya used his quirk to dash past Kurojire. Kurojire prepared to warp Tenya away, but 13 intervened with her quirk. "You aren't going to hurt my students," she declared. Meanwhile, Aizawa was battling the other villains, using his martial arts skills to defeat them. As Kurojire was being pulled into 13's black hole, he opened 2 warp gates, one in front of her and one behind. 13 was injured and fell unconscious. Kurojire then warped the villains to different locations within the USJ. Izumi, Azui, and Mineta found themselves in the water rescue area, while Kirishima, Katsuki, and Katsumi were sent to the city disaster area. Shoto and Ojiro ended up in the mountain area, and Jairu, Mom, and Denki were warped into the fields. Only Koda, Rikido, Aoyama, Uraraka, and Hagakure remained behind. Underwater, Izumi noticed a shark-like villain rushing toward her when Azui's tongue grabbed her and pulled her onto a ship. "Thanks, Azui-san," she exclaimed. "Welcome. Just call me Tsu," Tsuyu replied. Mineta, panicking, cried, "We are going to die." Tsuyu slapped him with her tongue to calm him down. "They probably don't know what our quirks are. If they did, they would have sent me to the fire zone or the city zone," she said. Izumi recalled her brother's notes, which contained information about heroes and villains, including their weaknesses. "Okay, what are your quirks?" she asked. "Mine is Frog, a mutation-type quirk," Tsuyu said. "And yours, Mineta?" Izumi pressed. Mineta hesitated before admitting, "I can only pop these balls that stick to anything and anyone. I know it's a pretty useless quirk." Izumi, remembering how her brother could make even a seemingly useless quirk powerful, replied, "No, you aren't useless, Mineta." Tears welled in her eyes. "Why are you crying?" Tsuyu asked, concerned. "It's not that. I remembered someone special to me," Izumi said, taking a deep breath. "Alright, I have a plan. I will smash the boat with my quirk. Azui-san, you and Mineta need to get away after the smash." "And what about you?" they both asked. "Don't worry about me," Izumi assured them as she prepared her quirk. "Detroit smash," she shouted, punching the boat and creating a whirlpool from the impact. As she was thrown off the boat, Tsuyu's tongue caught her. "We aren't giving up on you, Izumi-san," Tsuyu declared. Mineta, in a moment of bravery, threw his sticky ball at the villains, trapping them. The three heroes sneaked toward the shore, where they saw a bird-like creature attacking their teacher. Shigaraki was on the verge of touching Azui when he realized he hadn't yet decayed her. Aizawa was using his quirk to shield his students. "Eraserhead, you're really a cool hero. Even in the face of danger, you're still protecting your students," Shigaraki remarked. Izumi was ready to strike Shigaraki with all her might when she noticed the creature, now identified as Nomu, blocking her path, poised to absorb the attack. "That would have killed me, but whatever. Nomu, kill them," Shigaraki commanded, just as the front doors of the USJ swung open to reveal two figures. Amidst the chaos, All Might and Talinko arrived. All Might, visibly furious, confronted the villains. "How dare you do this?" he shouted, rushing to knock down the frontline villains and rescue Aizawa along with three frightened children. He handed Aizawa over to Izumi and the others. "Talinko, go save the other children. I'll handle these." Talinko nodded and flew off to assist elsewhere in the USA. "You will pay for your crimes because I am here," All Might declared as he charged toward Shigaraki. Just then, a Nomu appeared in his path, and the fight ensued, mirroring the original events but with All Might struggling against the creature. As the battle raged on, Toshinori felt his strength waning from his injuries inflicted by the Nomu. Amidst the chaos, a harsh scream echoed from one of the villains, Kurojairi, who was under someone else's control, desperately trying to alert Shigaraki. "What is happening to you, Kurojairi?" Shigaraki demanded, confused. Suddenly, a warp gate opened through Kurojairi's misty form, revealing Izuku in a hooded disguise. "Nice place, if you guys weren't here," Izuku remarked, tendrils emerging from his body as Kurojairi's form dissipated, leaving behind a lifeless body. "Oh, poor guy, he was also a hero in training." "I'll save you," he said, spreading a virus that restored the man to life without leaving any harmful traces. He had been struggling a lot. "I think he'll be all right. I got a lot of information on who did this to him." As Shigaraki prepared to attack, Izuku seized him by the throat. "How are you not dead? Why didn't my quirk work on you?" Shigaraki stammered. "I don't care who you are or what your quirk is," Izuku replied, ready to strike. Just then Shigaraki screamed, "Nomu, leave All Might and kill him." The Nomu lunged at Izuku, tearing his head from his body. A scream erupted from the stairs. Momo realized the man was her savior. "No!" she cried. Shigaraki laughed, but then began to vomit a black substance as he was teleported away. Everyone was distracted by the Nomu, which had been sent away by the headless body of the man. The body stood straight as its head transformed into liquid, reconstructing itself. "You may think you're strong, but I am stronger," Izuku declared, cracking his knuckles and activating his claws to confront the monster. Ultimately, he consumed the Nomu, gaining new powers, a strong armor and the ability to nullify any incoming attack. "Nice," he said, noticing All Might charging at him. Izuku transformed, easily nullifying All Might's punch and surprising everyone with his newfound strength. He retaliated, launching All Might toward the stairs. Just as he prepared to attack again, two WHPs grabbed him and pulled him out of the USJ. He was thrown into a nearby forest by a bald man named Heller. "Let's have some fun with this guy," Heller shouted. Izuku landed hard on a hill, and a hooded man followed, stomping down on him and creating a massive crater. Izuku lay in pain, battling a severe headache. He crawled out of the crater, determined to confront his attackers. With a roar, he dashed toward them, but the hooded man stabbed his claws into the ground, creating spikes that impaled Izuku. He yelled, struggling to free himself. "Now, James," the bald man shouted, leaping up with hammer fists to smash Izuku. Though he was losing consciousness, Izuku held on to his will and managed to grab the bald man, slicing his throat. However, the hooded man intervened, throwing Izuku away. Despite the setback, Izuku had achieved something significant in the fight. As he emerged from the debris, Izuku transformed into a more powerful and fearsome version of himself. Feeling exhausted, he knelt down, placing his hands on the ground. This simple action generated a massive shockwave that sent the two men attacking him flying. Izuku stood up, took a deep breath, and looked at his hands before smashing the ground, obliterating the hill around him. Just as he thought they were gone, he was struck again by the two men, who shouted as they launched their WHK-like attacks. Izuku activated his shields, and as the men approached, he used his agility to grab one and slam him down, then leaped high to perform a powerful move on the other. Suddenly, two more individuals appeared, armed with guns. Their attacks barely affected him, but their presence angered him. Just then he felt a familiar sensation as his hands transformed again, this time into WT-like appendages with 3 sharp claws. Ready to confront anyone, tendrils emerged from him, pulling nearby debris and trees toward him. The debris crashed against him, but he was unharmed, having transformed into his armor just in time. He jumped and launched his WHPs at the attackers. One dodged, while the other absorbed the hit with his shield. As Izuku was about to retract his WHPs, he was yanked toward a bald man who stabbed him with a large blade. The bald man then threw him toward a hooded figure, who slashed him across the chest. Izuku fell heavily, bleeding and injured. Just as the two men prepared to strike again, he unleashed his claws, grabbing their blades and stabbing them. Spikes erupted from their bodies as he began to consume them, but then he was shot in the head with a shotgun. The shot had no effect, and he advanced toward the remaining attackers, who were shouting for others to flee. Ignoring their warnings, the attackers continued firing. Izuku approached them, grabbing their guns and consuming them, leaving them horrified but trying to maintain their composure. "Go away from here, you will get hurt," he warned them. As he turned to walk away, he was suddenly struck on the head by a girl. "Why did you do that?" he asked calmly. "Yeah, and I'm not going to let my dad get beaten by you, no way," she replied defiantly. "Your dad wants you to leave for your own safety," Izuku insisted. "Oh yeah? And let my dad get killed by you? Never," she shot back. "I didn't want to hurt them in the first place, but they attacked me," he explained, still calm. "They were hunting you because you would cause chaos in this universe with the virus," she accused. "Oh, you guys know about the virus?" Izuku said, surprised. "Yeah, we know, so what?" the bald man replied. "We shouldn't have disclosed this to him," the hooded man added. Whoa, watch your mouth. I'm an independent 15-year-old, Izuku retorted, shocking them all. "Ha ha," they exclaimed in unison. Izuku suggested they leave the area, warning that authorities would soon arrive to investigate. He proposed they continue their conversation elsewhere, and everyone nodded in agreement, following him to his hideout. Once there, Izuku admitted, "I never disclose my hideouts to anyone, but I have questions for you. The bald man suggested they introduce themselves first. Izuku agreed, stating his name. The bald man introduced himself as James Heller, followed by the hooded man, Alex Mercer, and his sister, Dana Mercer. The young girl introduced herself as Amaya Heller. Izuku, curious about their origins, asked if they were from another world and whether the virus was a weapon. The group fell silent until Alex confirmed it was a biological weapon and questioned how Izuku knew. Izuku revealed that a certain god had informed him, though he couldn't introduce them to this deity as he didn't know how to reach him himself. Izuku then inquired about their world and the virus it carried. Alex explained that their world was nearly destroyed by the Blacklight virus, which Izuku realized he carried. Alex clarified that Izuku carried an improved version, Blacklight 2. When Amaya asked about Izuku's intentions with the virus, he confessed his longing for revenge against those who had wronged him. Dana questioned whether he intended to start a rebellion against humanity, to which Izuku replied he did not. Dana expressed relief, suggesting their mission was complete, as they believed the virus was in safe hands. Amaya asked Izuku for his thoughts on humanity, and he admitted uncertainty, though his heart believed humanity could improve if given a chance. As Izuku recounted his past, the group listened with empathy, their eyes growing watery. He spoke of a life devoid of love, always being pushed away. Overwhelmed by emotion, the four embraced him, offering comfort as he sobbed. Afterward, Dana advised Izuku against seeking revenge, warning it would only perpetuate a cycle of struggle. Izuku questioned whether he should concede to those who deemed him useless. James reassured him that he wasn't useless and that there were people who would love him for who he was. Alex shared his own experience with revenge, revealing that he wasn't the original Alex Mercer. The virus had copied his mind into a dead body, leaving him a fragment of consciousness. Izuku, shocked, asked if this was true for him and James. Alex explained that while he had infected James, Izuku still retained his memories, suggesting he wasn't dead. Izuku questioned why revenge was wrong, and Alex recounted his own dark path, driven by a longing for answers. He warned Izuku that pursuing revenge would lead to loss for everyone involved. Izuku expressed his disillusionment with humanity, prompting a thoughtful silence. Dana implored him not to follow Alex's path, assuring him of the possibility of finding true happiness and love. Amaya explained that love could be found through forgiveness, protectiveness, and acceptance. As the group prepared to leave, Izuku asked how they would return home. Alex revealed a remote that opened a portal. Izuku wondered if they would meet again, and the four responded with a tentative, probably, before stepping through the portal. Left alone, Izuku contemplated his future. He decided to rest, knowing he had school the next day. The following morning at Shiketsu High, Izuku was greeted by his classmates. As he took his seat, their homeroom teacher, Ms. Joke, entered looking stressed. Nagamasa and Kami noticed her unusual demeanor, and Ms. Joke explained that her husband's class had been attacked by villains, though he would recover. She assured them that all students were safe and urged them to focus on their education. Izuku remained silent as Ms. Joke began her lesson, and the class busied themselves with their studies. When lunchtime arrived, they all gathered at the same table. The atmosphere in the cafeteria was tense as the students discussed the recent villain attacks on innocent students. Inasa expressed his concern. It's really awful that those students were attacked. Seiji nodded, acknowledging the danger they all faced. It could happen to us too. Nagamasa added, that's why Ms. Joke will be conducting combat education and exercises with the second-year students and teachers. Inasa's eyes lit up with excitement. Wow, that is so cool. What do you think, Dunade-kun? He asked, turning to Izuku, who was caught off guard. What? Izuku replied, trying to catch up with the conversation. Inasa repeated, today we will do combat training. Isn't that cool? Izuku, now understanding, feigned enthusiasm. Oh yeah, that's cool. Inasa, filled with determination, declared, we will become great heroes together. Their animated discussion drew awkward glances from others in the cafeteria. Nagamasa gently advised Inasa, Yurashi-sen, you should sit down. As Nagamasa tried to calm Inasa, 6 second-year students approached their table with disdain. Huh, these are the new kids? More like weaklings, one of them sneered. Another chimed in, yeah, they look so weak. How will they train with us? A third added, they'll just slow us down. Before Nagamasa could respond, Izuku spoke up, you call yourselves powerful, but I only see a bunch of donkeys hee-hawing over here. One of the second-year students, incensed, demanded, what did you say? Just as tensions escalated, 3 third-year students intervened. Stop this nonsense and go back to your class, or you'll be meeting the teacher, one of them warned. The second years, not wanting trouble, retreated. Another third-year student apologized. I'm sorry if they were insulting you. They need to be humbled to understand the true meaning of being a hero. The third agreed, yeah, they really do. Izuku, curious, asked, excuse me, but can I get your names? The third-year students, after a brief mix-up, introduced themselves. Hello, my name is Reikyo Ren. My quirk is Heat Blast, said the first. My name is Samaire Kurokai. My quirk is Hero Stretch, added the second. My name is Muron Kayadeki. My quirk is Shield Manipulation, concluded the third. Together, they declared, and we are the third-year students of Shiketsu High. Izuku responded warmly, oh, nice to meet you. My name is, but was interrupted as Reikyo mentioned, so we will be observing your combat exercise. Samaire advised, be careful with your quirks and stay out of harm's way, okay? Bye. With that, the senior trio departed. Seiji remarked, well, this will be exciting. Izuku, less certain, replied, probably. As they prepared to leave, they realized Kami was missing. Where is Utsushimi-san? Izuku wondered. The group assumed she had gone to the bathroom and left the cafeteria. Meanwhile, in the gym storage room, Kami was gazing at a photo of Izuku. Oh, Takeuchi-kun. You have no idea how much I admire you, she mused, recalling the time Izuku saved her during exams. One day you didn't come to school, and I missed you so much, she sighed, placing a hand on her chest. Chapter end. The following day, Izuku was back at school, preparing for the exercise class with the second years. While his classmates buzzed with excitement, Izuku felt a mix of anticipation and apprehension. As the students chatted, Ms. Joke entered the class. All right, students, it's time for the exercise class you've been waiting for. Get to the changing rooms and change into your gym clothes, she instructed. Just as she was about to leave, she added, oh, I forgot to mention, starting tomorrow, Class 1B will be joining your classes as they have proven themselves worthy. Now go and get ready. The students headed to the changing rooms, divided by gender. Kami entered the girls' room, while Izuku and the boys went to theirs. As they changed, the boys noticed Izuku's impressive physique. Dinade-kun, you're well built. What's your training regime? Inesa asked. Izuku, feeling a bit self-conscious, replied, well, I run and do exercises in the morning since I was about 7 years old. Inesa, eyes sparkling, exclaimed, oh, that's really cool, Dinade-kun. You've been training hard since you were 7? Amazing. Nagamasa urged, all right, let's not get distracted and get ready quickly. The boys nodded, swiftly changing into their gym clothes and heading to the training grounds, where they were to meet their seniors. Izuku scanned the area, spotting the third-year students observing from a tower. Suddenly, the second-year students' taunting voices broke the air. You guys look even weaker in gym uniforms, one sneered. Before the insults could continue, their teacher intervened. Enough with the rudeness. Introduce yourselves. The second-years flinched at the command. Well, my name is Kotaro Sakurai. My quirk is Rockosmack. I can create anything out of rocks and soil. The first introduced. My name is Shinochi Kakeru. My quirk is Sound Blast, said the second. My name is Karagasaki Nomadro. My quirk is Jello, added the third. Their teacher, Artatsu Kansai, introduced himself as well. My quirk is Speedo Start. Izuku and his classmates introduced themselves in turn. Ms. Joke then announced, all right, everyone, we will first do some battle tests, and after that, we will do rescue training. So please choose your opponents. As the students paired off, Ms. Joke reminded them, this will be a first year's versus second year's training fight, so be careful of your surroundings. Alright, ready everyone? Fight! The battle commenced. Kotaro launched his attack on Cammy with his Rocco Smack, but she deftly dodged and retaliated with a WHP-like weapon. Shinochi targeted Inesa and Seiji, declaring, "You're now my targets," as he unleashed his sound blast. Inesa and Seiji quickly used their quirks to evade and counterattack. Karagasaki, eager to join the fray, transformed his hands into hammers. "Let's get smashing. I will smash your heads like a nail," he bellowed, swinging at Izuku and Nagamasa. Nagamasa barely dodged, while Izuku evaded effortlessly. "Hurrah!" Karagasaki yelled, attempting to strike Izuku again. Izuku caught the hammers with ease. "Morakuen, you should go help the others. Cammy is fighting alone against a third year," he advised. Nagamasa hesitated. "What? But what about you?" Izuku reassured him, "Don't worry about me, he can't do anything to me. I assure you." With that, Nagamasa ran to assist Cammy. "You made a grave mistake," Karagasaki shouted, trying to free his hammers. Izuku replied calmly, "You know, if I could use it, you would learn what a true hammer is." Karagasaki then changed his hammers back to jello to regain his hands and attacked again. Izuku moved so swiftly that Karagasaki didn't even realize he had been hit multiple times before collapsing unconscious. The teachers and third-year students watched in shock, unable to comprehend Izuku's speed. "Now then," Izuku said, observing his classmates' struggles. "They need a lot of training in martial arts if they want to become heroes. Let's give them a spark of help." With that, he launched himself at Shinochi. Alert and determined, Shinochi attempted to halt Izuku with his blasts, but Izuku effortlessly backhanded him, sending him flying with only minor injuries. Turning his attention to Kotaro, Izuku faced a shield of rocks that Kotaro had conjured to defend against his attacks. "You can't break my barrier. Even Shinochi or Karagasaki couldn't do that," Kotaro boasted confidently. "I don't need brute strength when I can use my brain," Izuku replied, as dark red tentacles emerged from his back, reminiscent of Kaniki's Kakuja. These tentacles pierced through the barrier, shattering it. Kotaro's confidence wavered, but he attempted to impress Cammy by forming rock gauntlets. "Take this. You will pay," he shouted, launching an attack. However, Izuku swiftly caught his hands with his tentacles. Another tentacle struck Kotaro, who screamed in pain, "Hey, it hurts, stop. I give up." Izuku released him, and Kotaro fell back, slightly injured. "What was that for?" Kotaro complained. "To teach you a lesson, use your strong quirks to protect others, not to bully them. Otherwise, you'll create your own monster who will come back for revenge. As someone once said, what goes around comes around." Izuku's words left everyone speechless, and the second-year students recognized their mistakes. After receiving medical attention, they approached the first years, seeking forgiveness and promising to be kinder. "Please forgive us for our rude behavior. We'll try to be friendly towards everyone," the second years said, bowing. "Don't worry, we forgive you, but please remember to treat everyone with respect as your heroes in training like us," the first years replied. The two groups reconciled and headed to their respective classes. Inesa remarked, "Man, Dunade-kun, you handled the situation so well. I have to admit, you're a better hero than me." "Don't worry, Yurashi-san. You and the others will surpass everyone soon, just train and learn martial arts. It'll help you in the long run," Izuku encouraged. "Do you know any nearby martial arts centers?" Nagamasa asked. "Yeah, it seems like you know a lot about martial arts, Takeuchi-kun." "Oh, sorry, can I call you that?" Cammy inquired. "Sure. I know a place, but I'm not great at teaching. There's a martial arts school near Shiketsu, just a few blocks from the train center. You can apply there." "I thought you could teach us. Maybe we could hang out and get to know each other better," Cammy suggested. "How about this? I'll join you at the martial arts school. It will help me refresh my skills too," Izuku offered. "Oh, alright. Do you guys agree?" Cammy asked the others. "All right," they all replied. Oh yeah, we should also get to know other students who will join us tomorrow, Izuku added. You're right, I almost forgot, Seiji said. Alright then, bye guys, Izuku said, waving as he walked away. Inasa wondered aloud, hey, don't you guys ever think about why he goes the opposite way of the train station? Maybe he lives nearby. I don't know, dude, Seiji replied. The scene shifted to Izuku, who was leaping from building to building on his way to his other base near Shiketsu. Suddenly, he heard a voice. Izuku. Who? He responded. Go to your right in a rundown hotel, the voice instructed. Who are you and how do you know me? Izuku asked, confused. Just follow my directions, the voice urged. Hesitating, Izuku decided to follow the mysterious voice, which led him to the rundown hotel. Who are you, where are you, and how do you know my name? He demanded. Izuku felt a strange presence near the restrooms. Where are you? He called out, shocked. A mysterious voice replied, Izuku, you're a broken person. Your mind and soul are fractured. What are you saying? Izuku asked, bewildered. The figure continued, find yourself. Forgive yourself. You will show yourself the way. Find your light. Izuku was confused. What? If you don't find it, you will lose yourself, the figure warned. Just then, Izuku fell unconscious. When he regained consciousness, he found himself standing in front of Shiketsu High. Another day. What do you got for me? He muttered as he entered the school. Inside the classroom, he was greeted by his classmates, but he noticed their faces looked distorted. Feeling unsettled, he tried to dismiss it as his imagination. Ms. Joke entered the class and began taking roll. Izuku, distracted by his thoughts, missed his name being called. Izuku, you missed your roll call. I want your attention in class, not out of it, she said. As he stood to apologize, he realized Ms. Joke's face was also distorted. Panic set in, and he stumbled backward, only to be caught by Inasa. Whoa, friend. Fix yourself, Inasa said. But when Izuku looked up, he was horrified to see Inasa's face was distorted too. What is wrong with all of your faces? Izuku exclaimed. Is there something on my face? Inasa asked, confused. The rest of the class echoed his sentiment, all equally bewildered. Izuku was overwhelmed. Huh. The scene shifted to a memory. He was in a park, watching two blonde children play, the Bakugos. Suddenly, two green-haired children ran towards them. One was his younger self. Izuku followed his past self home, but when he reached for the door, his hand passed through it. He saw his past self being scolded by Inko for a childish question. The younger Izuku ran to his room and locked the door, crying himself to sleep. This was the day he lost his smile. He remembered how, after a checkup, he rarely smiled anymore. The scene changed to his kindergarten days, where he was bullied and beaten. He had always dreamed of becoming a hero, but the bullying had crushed his spirit long before he gained his powers. Izuku approached his wounded child self, but the scene shifted again. Now he was 12 in middle school, where his bullies roamed. He watched himself being criticized by classmates and teachers, feeling disgusted. He reached out to touch his younger self's shoulder, but the scene changed once more. Now, he saw himself walking, looking beaten and bullied again. He heard his past self cursing, holding back tears. Present-day Izuku felt exhausted, reflecting on how he had endured so much pain. As he knelt down, tears streamed down his face. He hadn't cried in a long time, but the pressure was too much now. Why are you crying for us? Don't you hate us? His child self asked, standing before him. No, Izuku started. Don't touch him. You don't deserve it, his 12-year-old self shouted, picking up the younger Izuku. Please wait. I want to fix this. I never hated any of you. Izuku pleaded. That's a lie. When did you ever remember the good times? Oh, sorry, we never had any, the older Izuku retorted. But we never wanted, the child protested. Not now, Izuku. Men are talking, the older Izuku snapped. Let him speak, Izuku insisted. And why is it that you never gave anyone a chance? You only ran away, the older Izuku said, leaving both him and his child self behind. Izuku realized the truth. His younger self was angry at him. Izuku stood in a vast, dark void, facing a younger version of himself. The child spoke with a wisdom beyond his years. "You can change things," he said softly. Izuku, burdened with guilt, asked, "What? How?" "By never forgetting us, never forgetting your roots, and never stopping loving yourself. Also, forgive us and yourself," the child advised. Realization dawned on Izuku, and his eyes widened. He had never apologized to or forgiven himself. "I'm sorry. Can I have another chance?" he asked, a hopeful smile forming. The child beamed and climbed onto Izuku's shoulder. "Yes. Let's go and set things right." With renewed determination, Izuku walked forward, the child perched on his shoulder, until he spotted a 12-year-old version of himself sitting alone on a bench. "Can I sit here?" he asked. "Do whatever you want," the younger Izuku replied, his tone indifferent. Izuku took a deep breath. "Look, I know I did some things in the past, like cursing myself and hurting myself. I'm sorry, we did that. Please forgive me." "Will that change anything?" the younger Izuku asked, skepticism in his voice. "Yes, it will," Izuku assured him. "If we work together, we can create a new, bright future. So please help me." The younger Izuku considered this. "Then promise me you'll stick with us till the end, never forget us, and always care about yourself and the ones you love." "I promise," Izuku said sincerely. Both younger versions of himself embraced him, and Izuku felt a warmth spreading through him. Guys, is this really that emotional?" he asked, a bit embarrassed. "Yes and no," the 12-year-old replied. "We are saving you, Izuku." "Thank you," the child added. As they faded away, the darkness lifted, revealing the vast void Izuku stood in. A mysterious figure emerged, and Izuku realized it was himself. "Who are you?" Izuku demanded. The figure smirked. "It's me. I am you. I am Izuku. You can also call me Darkside, your literal dark side. A fragment of our split mind due to the physical and mental trauma we've endured." Izuku's mind raced. "What about that person I killed?" Darkside shrugged. "Oh, he was a clone of mine, an illusion to see if you accept your anger and other feelings. You somewhat accept, but not fully. You are still broken." Darkside turned and walked toward a glowing door. "So what can I do to fix me? Fix us?" Izuku called after him. "I don't know. Figure it out yourself," Darkside replied, stepping through the door as it began to close. Desperate, Izuku ran toward it but crashed into an invisible barrier. "No, no, wait," he shouted, pounding on the barrier, but it held firm. He sank to his knees, frustration and despair washing over him. Then, a familiar voice echoed around him. "Why are you trying so hard when it seems impossible? What is your goal? What will you achieve from this?" Darkside's voice taunted. "I don't want us to be broken. We must become one again," Izuku declared. "But that's the thing, it's impossible. Even if it were, I don't want to lose my existence, whether in this endless void, dark or bright." Darkside countered. "Then at least we should stick together. One finger doesn't make a fist, but 5 do. That's why I don't want to lose ourselves. I want to forgive ourselves and move on," Izuku insisted. He stood up, determination fueling him, and began punching the barrier again, noticing Darkside doing the same on the other side. "I think we can agree on that," Darkside shouted, and together they attacked the barrier. "It's impossible, Izuku," Darkside warned. "No, I will not give up on you, Izuku roared. "All right then," Darkside agreed. They both punched the same spot, creating a crack. "It's working. Don't give up," they shouted in unison. Their hands were badly damaged, but Izuku refused to stop. "It's a test. We have to overcome it even with our damaged limbs," he said. With a final, powerful attack, they smashed their heads into the barrier, breaking it. They fell onto each other's shoulders, bleeding but whispering, "We are one." They accepted each other, acknowledging their similarities and differences. Despite being different, they were now one Izuku. Izuku's body leaped out of the ruined hotel, destroying it as he landed, leaving a huge crack. With glowing green eyes and energy coursing through him, he was now whole. I am back, world. Get ready, he shouted, smiling. On a Sunday, Izuku was running around the city of Mustafu, searching for clues. 3 days ago, 2 people had died mysteriously, their bodies missing their quirks as if someone had taken them away. He was trying to track down the person responsible when he heard a loud shout from a nearby alley. Izuku dashed toward it and found a man standing over an injured hero. It was Stain, the hero killer. Izuku confronted Stain, recognizing him immediately. Stain, he said. What are you doing, hooded killer? Stain retorted. Is that my name? Izuku replied, a hint of sarcasm in his voice. The heroes in the media call you the mysterious murderer, but I prefer hooded killer, Stain shot back. Sounds like I'm some horror character, which I'm not, Izuku said. Says the one who is a mass murderer, Stain sneered. Look who's talking, Batman's poor copy, Izuku countered, catching another blade with his claws. Come on, Stain, you can do better, he taunted as Stain swung again, missing entirely. I won't let you live. You attacked the symbol of peace. Stain yelled, but his attack was futile. Stain, I thought you were bloodstained. But you're more like a joke, Izuku quipped, kicking Stain into a wall. This isn't over. I'll get you for what you've done, hooded killer. Stain shouted as he escaped. Izuku sighed, watching Stain flee. Well, there goes my only source for clues. He turned to the wounded hero, Ingenium, and quickly healed him before slipping away to avoid further interaction. As he moved between buildings, Izuku recalled a secret sidekick of Stain's who could help him locate the heroes being hunted. He had learned about this from a villain's memory during the USJ incident. Now, he found himself at the docks, standing outside a warehouse where Stain's sidekick was rumored to hide. Sneaking inside through a window, Izuku was startled when the lights flicked on, revealing multiple machine guns aimed at him. Where did you get so many machine guns? He exclaimed. When you have good business in the underworld, you can get those, a voice replied. Izuku turned to see a young boy. I thought you were older, but you're just a kid. Hey, I'm 11. I'm Crimson Colonel, follower of Sir Stain, not his sidekick, the boy declared. First, learn to say, idiot, before calling others that, Izuku said, rolling his eyes. Crimson eyed Izuku warily. How did you find my hideout? Izuku shrugged. I got some intel from a few villains. Sir Stain will slice and dice you. Crimson threatened, his voice dripping with menace. Yeah, whatever, Izuku replied nonchalantly, stepping forward just as the machine guns erupted in a hail of bullets, filling the room with smoke. Crimson laughed, thinking he had the upper hand. What did you think of that? Not so smart now, huh? But his confidence wavered when Izuku suddenly appeared behind him. Whoa. Chill, dude, I'm not here to harm you, Izuku reassured him, trying to ease the tension. Crimson remained skeptical. So what are you here for, scum? Rude, Izuku retorted. I heard you have sharp eyes around Mustafu. I need information about the recent murders. Crimson crossed his arms defiantly. If I have information, what do I get from you? I won't harm you, Izuku promised. Then I won't give you any information, Crimson shot back. Izuku cracked his knuckles, a subtle warning. I have other ways to get information out of you. Crimson's bravado faltered. What are you going to do? If you know anything about me, you know what I can do, Izuku warned, his eyes glowing red. All right. I'll help you, but you have to get me Stain's red scarf, Crimson conceded quickly. Why not just ask him? Izuku inquired. I tried, but he didn't give it to me, Crimson admitted, looking disappointed. All right, Izuku agreed. Deal. Come with me, Crimson said, leading him to his research area. Izuku marveled at the setup. Wow, so many screens. You're more of a hacker than I am. I need to be the best to help Sir Stain, Crimson replied. About the murders, who did it? Izuku asked. Crimson pulled up a picture of a man. This guy. His name is 9. He's the leader of these villains, Slice, Mummy, and Chimera. Rumor has it he has more than one quirk. More than one quirk? Do you know where I can find him? Izuku pressed. I don't have his location. He doesn't operate in Mustafa much, Crimson admitted. You're really a smart kid, Izuku complimented. Thanks. I'm not a kid. Crimson protested. Sure, thanks anyway, Izuku said as he prepared to leave. Why are you trying to find him? Crimson asked. To stop him from committing more crimes, even if it means I have to kill him, Izuku replied. I know someone who might help you get his location, but he's not my friend, he's Nine's partner. His name is Wateroo, the samurai pirate. He lives near the docks in an underwater base. If you can find him, you might get more information, Crimson said, looking away. Izuku smiled and hugged him. Thanks, dude. And I'll definitely get Stain's scarf for you. Also, find a better hideout. Those guns might attract attention. Don't worry, no one will find me here, Crimson assured him. All right then, Izuku started. Hey wait, take my number. Call me when you need help. Crimson called out as Izuku left. Standing at the old docks of Mustafa, Izuku searched for any secret entrance but found none. Oh no, if the base is underwater, then it might also have an entrance. But I couldn't find one. Is the entrance itself underwater? I don't really have practice holding my breath for much longer. I need his help. He called Crimson. Hello, hooded murderer, Crimson answered. Whoa, how did you know it was me? Izuku asked. Because you are someone who will call me as soon as I give you my number. So what is it? I think the base is underwater. Yeah, who could have thought? Crimson replied. No, I mean the entrance to the base is also underwater. Then dive down and find the entrance. That's the thing. I'm not really good at swimming and can't hold my breath for much longer. Well, I can't help you with that. Maybe try a store for underwater gear or check out the underworld. You might find good equipment for an underwater mission. Oh, I also have another request. I am not Santa Claus. Crimson exclaimed. It's not really a hard job, and you don't even have to leave your chair. Speak. Today is like UA's sports festival. Can you please record it with your drones? How do you know about my drones? I saw them in your base. Sure, I guess. Thanks, dude, you're a lifesaver. Bye. Crimson cut off the call. Izuku thought he is a good person at heart, as he leaped onto a building on his way to the underworld. When he arrived at the underworld market, situated in the dumps near the city, he passed by several people who recognized him as the mysterious murderer. Hey, look, it's that mysterious murderer, one inhabitant said. Yeah, and he has a huge bounty on his head, another added. Izuku heard everything but chose to ignore it as he approached a merchant. Excuse me, Izuku said. The merchant looked surprised to see him. Oh my, the new mysterious murderer. How am I so lucky to be visited by you? Drop the act, I'm here to buy something. You know the LOV put a huge bounty on your head. I can snitch on you, but if you give me something good, I might reconsider. Isn't getting spared by my hands worth something? Because if not, then you're in trouble. Whoa, chill. I was joking. So what do you want? I need guns. When I say guns, I mean huge destructive ones. And also 2 swords. I have just the things for you. Come with me. Izuku followed the merchant to a warehouse, where he was shown a variety of powerful weapons. LMGs, SMGs, chain guns, RPGs, homing rocket launchers, tanks, grenade launchers, and more. These are all the powerful weapons I have. Not many can buy these, even the LOV. I want to create a trustful relationship with you. So how much do you want? How much do you have? About 20 for every weapon except the railgun and the railgun tank. I also found 15 advanced tanks. I want all of it. What? I don't think you can pay that much. Name the price. $750 million. Izuku suddenly pulled out a huge amount of cash, filling up the warehouse. The merchant was momentarily stuck under stacks of bills when Izuku pulled him out. Count it and take the amount you want, then give me back the rest. You're my new best customer. Anything for a trustful relationship with you. After about 5 hours of counting, the merchant said, Sir, I have taken the needed amount. All of the weapons are yours. Happy to trade with you. Izuku collected the rest of the money. Sir, where do you want me to deliver them? I don't need any DLVI, Izuku said as he absorbed all the weapons and tanks into himself. The merchant was both scared and amazed. What happened to the guns? Don't worry about them. And also, don't try to tell anyone about me, or you'll regret it. Understood? The merchant nodded heavily. Izuku arrived back at the docks, a plan forming in his mind. I have a plan, he grinned. He activated his whip fists and launched them into the water, snagging a large shark. Surprised to find sharks near the old docks, he thought, you'll do nicely, as he consumed the shark and dove into the depths. As he plunged into the water, his body began to transform. His hands connected like a fan, and his legs became enveloped in biomass, forming a large flipper. He resembled a real-life mermaid, albeit a terrifying one, complete with gills on his neck. More biomass covered his upper body, creating a hard yet lightweight shell that allowed him to move freely and breathe underwater. He was ready to hunt down the pirates. Izuku swam underwater, searching for the villain's base. As he explored the depths, he stumbled upon an ancient-looking door attached to a rock. He tried to pull it open, but it was stuck. When he attempted to unlock it, he felt sudden vibrations nearby and quickly hid in a cluster of kelp. He watched as 3 fish-like beings entered through the door. Seizing the opportunity, Izuku followed them. They led him to a hidden entrance directly beneath the docks, concealed from view. After they entered, Izuku swam behind them, emerging in a large pool inside the base. It turned out to be the actual entrance, not the door he had found. Once they left the pool room, he transformed back into his human form. What kind of supervillain has a pool connecting to their entrance? He wondered. As he sneaked into the base, he noticed several guards patrolling. He stealthily approached one, incapacitated him, and disguised himself as the guard. All right, this should be easy, Izuku thought as he made his way to the center of the base where the villains were located. He stood in front of the door to the room where the villain resided and entered. Inside, he saw 3 men watching UA's sports festival. Izuku locked the door behind him. Even villains watch UA's sports festival. Amazing, he remarked. What are you doing in here? You should be guarding outside, and what's with the tone? One of the men asked. Yeah, what's with the tone? Another chimed in, while the third remained silent, still focused on the festival. Go to your job, the first man ordered. Yeah, do what he said. Before he could finish, Izuku swiftly incapacitated him, causing the first man to freeze in shock. What? Why did you kill him? Boss? He shouted as multiple swords were hurled at Izuku from the silent man. Take away Washimaru's body from here, Ka, the third man commanded. But boss. Kakuta hesitated. Enough. Go. The boss insisted, and Kata fled with Washimaru's body. So, what do I owe the mysterious murderer for this visit? I am Wateroo, a samurai pirate, the third man said. I just want to know Nine's location, Izuku replied. I don't have his location. He doesn't stay in one place, Wateroo said. Don't worry, I'll find it in your mind, Izuku threatened. How dare you? You snuck into my base, killed 2 of my employees, and threatened me. I will kill you, Wateroo shouted. As he spoke, Izuku consumed the swords embedded in him, generating 8 swords that floated behind him like wings. Well then, shall we dance? Izuku declared, launching himself at Wateroo with a powerful punch, but Wateroo dodged. Wateroo began to generate swords from his skin. "Oh, he yelled, attempting to slice Izuku with his samurai swords. Uff! Izuku grunted as he defended himself with his claws. You're good. Wateroo closed his eyes and slashed at Izuku, cutting him in half. Well, that was a good slice. I would have been dead if it weren't for my power, Izuku said, activating his hammer fists. Want to see power? Here you go. He smashed the ground, creating a shockwave that destroyed half of the base and took out many of Wateroo's guards. Water flooded into the base. As Izuku prepared for another smash, Wateroo kicked him, leaving him bloodied from the previous shockwave. I will show you true pride, Wateroo declared, slashing the air and sending a dark wave toward Izuku. Izuku barely dodged. Whoa, how did you do that? Is that a second power of your quirk? Enough with your fantasies about quirks. This is the Great Dark Moon style. Don't disrespect it. Wateroo shouted, attacking again. Izuku blocked the slash with his shield. Wow, that's a cool sword art. Do you know about the ghost? Wateroo asked, slashing again. Yeah, I read about them in history books. They were samurai warriors who rebelled against the shogun after the Great War against the Mongols because they didn't help the poor, Izuku replied. Well, you know your history. I am the descendant of the last ghost, the ghost of Tsushima. I am a samurai and a pirate, but I still fight for my pride. What do you fight for? Wateroo challenged. For the safety of helpless citizens, Izuku answered. But how will that keep them safe when you become the next terrifying threat in their eyes by killing villains? Wateroo pressed. Izuku fell silent, realizing the weight of his actions. He was not worthy of being called a protector or a hero. He felt like a monster. Answer me. Wateroo demanded. You're right. I am not a hero nor their savior, but only a bloodthirsty animal, Izuku admitted, taking a deep breath. And I have to change my ways. As he was about to turn around and walk away, Wateroo called out to him. Where are you going? You started a fight that killed most of my crew. I have to fight you for their honor. You killed my men, who only became villains to survive in a system that never gave them a chance. Izuku recognized the truth in Wateroo's words. He too had been a victim of this system. His parents and friends weren't the enemy, but the system itself. He needed to change it and break the cycle of heroes and villains. Izuku resolved to give up his revenge for the greater good. All right then, samurai, let's have our battle, Izuku declared, grabbing one of the swords floating behind him. After a fierce confrontation, Izuku stood over Wateroo's lifeless body. I'm sorry for killing your crewmates, but your skills and experience will help me stop this cycle of heroes and villains. He plunged his hand into Wateroo's body, absorbing his skills, quirk, experience, and memories. He learned that Wateroo had grown up in a seaside village and was a kind person, but was shunned by fellow sailors due to his quirk. After a tragic encounter with a villain who killed his wife, he trained in sword arts and gathered a crew to end the cycle of suffering. Izuku felt sorrow for Wateroo and his crew, who had turned to villainy in their quest to stop the pain. Amidst the wreckage, seawater surged in as Izuku leaped high, breaking through the ceiling and emerging into the ocean. He climbed onto a building and gazed at the sunset, reflecting on the valuable lesson he had learned from the pirate villain. To avoid the path of revenge and instead strive to make the world a better place, helping it recognize its mistakes and end the cycle of suffering. Later, Izuku watched the UA Sports Festival from a rooftop at night. Katsuki Bakugo had won, but Izumi had lost to Shoto Todoroki. Izumi had tried to convince Shoto to embrace his fire side, which he rejected due to his disdain for his father. In the finals, Shoto lost to Katsuki, while Momo Yaoyorozu had been eliminated in the quarterfinals by Fumikage Tokoyami, who was then defeated by Katsuki. As Izuku lay on the rooftop, he pondered what might have happened if he and Izumi had switched places. Suddenly, a knife whizzed past him. He dodged it instinctively and saw Stain standing on an antenna. Hooded murderer, you broke into my follower's base. How dare you? Stain charged at Izuku with his katana. Izuku allowed Stain to strike him, but when the blade made contact, he remained unharmed. Stain was taken aback. What? How? Was anything supposed to happen? You're lucky I didn't let the virus enter you through my blood, or you would have been dead, Izuku replied. What virus? Stain demanded. Just go already. Oh wait. Izuku dashed towards Stain so quickly he couldn't react, grabbing him by the throat and pulling off his red tattered scarf before releasing him. Stain was bewildered by the speed and confused as to why Izuku had let him live. What? Don't you want to do anything to me? Stain asked. No. I'm not into men. Izuku replied. No, that's not what I meant. Stain insisted. Then what? Izuku asked. I thought you were about to attack me. Nah, you're good. Izuku started to walk away with the scarf in his pocket. And where are you going with the scarf? I thought we were about to fight. Stain called after him. I need this scarf for someone else. I didn't want to fight you, you're the one who wanted to fight me, Izuku explained. Yes, because you're a villain and you attacked All Might. Well, he attacked me first. And you're supposed to be defeated by him. Listen, I'm not a bad guy. I'm trying to change this world, this quirky world full of quirks. It makes me sick that I once idolized quirks. So what are you going to do? Kill everyone or destroy their quirks? Stay nest. No, I will change this world. It needs a lesson in humanity. It's losing its humanity, Izuku replied. So what are you going to do for that? I don't know, but I will try my best to restore its humanity and teach people that quirks aren't everything. From the sound of it, you were abused or neglected for being quirkless or having a weak quirk. Isn't that right? Yes, somewhat. That's why I want to make people realize they are wrong and that they are the ones creating villains. And what makes you think that the people in this society create their own villains? Let me show you. As he touched Stain's forehead, Stain was flooded with the memory of Kurogiri watching over a young Tenko Shimura, who would later become the notorious villain Shigaraki Tamura. How? Izuku continued, little Tenko. He accidentally killed his family when his decay quirk activated. Little Tenko was a fan of All Might. After losing his family, he became homeless and struggled on the streets. No one helped him. The citizens believed heroes would save him, but they never noticed the child. And then, little Tenko lost all hope of getting help. He was lost. But then a man in a tuxedo came to him, adopted him, and gave him the name Shigaraki Tamura. The name Tamura means morning. Izuku took a seat on the railings of the rooftop. Do you know who his adoptive father is? No, Stain replied. All for one. No, it can't be. All Might defeated him. It seems he survived and made Tamura despise heroes. Do you know who is responsible for all of this? The child. He killed his own family. No. Society, the hero system, these are responsible. The hero system made people feel they didn't need to help those in need. Tenko needed help, but no one stepped in. Think about it. If you were in his place, what would you do? I don't know, Stain admitted. Exactly. Life is strange. It can change direction without us realizing. And I know why you attack and kill heroes. What? How do you know? You attack them because you see them as heroes who only do their jobs for fame and money. Some might not be like that. All Might, for instance, doesn't seek fame or money, he goes to save lives. That's why I admire him the most. There are many heroes like him, they just don't get the same media attention. So, I have killed many innocent heroes too. I would say no, but that won't bring you any good. So what do I do now? I don't know, you figure it out. And also, thanks for the scarf. As he leaped off the rooftop, he left Stain deep in thought. The scene shifted to the Bakugo household. Katsumi, why aren't you going to your modeling shoot? And why didn't you apply for Best Jeanist? I thought we would be in the internship together, Katsuki asked. I stopped modeling. It brought me nothing good other than money and fame, Katsumi replied. Isn't that good? But I lost the one I adored the most, other than our parents. Who? Izuku. Stop feeling guilty about that. Deku was nothing but jealous of our quirks. He tried to be friends with us just to gain attention, but we didn't let him. But he wasn't like that. You don't know anything about him. Then what was he like? He was kind, caring, and loving. He tried to motivate us to become heroes, but we pushed him around. I know you saw him as a brother, but you felt insulted because he tried to become a hero without a quirk. So what about it? He didn't even have the motivation to be a hero. No, you are wrong. He was more of a hero than us. Remember, he saved both of us from a car accident. He pushed us to safety and stood in front of the car. Luckily, the car stopped before hitting him. His mother scolded him for playing in the road, though he wasn't at fault. Katsuki's eyes widened as he remembered, and they became a little teary. In middle school, Katsumi remembered how Izuku inspired many students to never think of their quirks as useless. He encouraged them to learn martial arts for self-defense and to become stronger. On their first day at UA, Their teacher, Aizawa, told them they had good quirks but were physically weak. Izuku had been right all along, and they were the foolish ones who lost a precious friend, the friend Katsumi loved. Katsuki felt increasingly guilty. He didn't actually hate Izuku, he was jealous of something Izuku already possessed. Izuku wanted to become a hero even without a quirk, and he was a good person at heart, more of a hero than Katsuki. That jealousy had lingered for years, costing him his only true best friend. What have we done? Katsuki lamented, echoing Katsumi's own regret. To manage her anger and grow stronger, Katsumi applied to Mirko's Hero Association. I will become a hero for Izuku, she vowed. As she looked around, she realized Katsuki was no longer in her room. He was locked away in his own room, crying silently in the dark, missing his best friend who had loved and believed in him, despite not showing that love after the incident. Meanwhile, Katsumi cried in her room, burdened by the guilt of having destroyed the only love of her life. She had broken Izuku's heart, though he had never harmed her. He was always friendly, yet faced only hatred. She, her brother, and Izumi deserved the pain, but fate had other plans for them. Izumi walked to her classroom, and upon opening the door to Class 1A, she was startled to see her classmates replaced by strange figures. As she was about to shut the door, a hand touched her shoulder from behind. She screamed, startled. Calm down, Izumi. What happened? Why are you screaming? Aizawa asked, concerned. Aizawa-sensei? She replied, recognizing him. Yes, it's me. What happened? Why did you scream? Oh no, nothing. You just caught me off guard. Aizawa looked momentarily annoyed. Okay, go take a seat. Just then, a cute voice piped up from behind. Is everything all right, Mr. Aizawa? Eri asked. Don't worry, Eri, everything is all right, Aizawa reassured her. Izumi was confused about who this child was and what she was doing with Aizawa. Kid, are you lost? Izumi asked. She is with me, Aizawa replied. Izumi looked between Aizawa and Eri, trying to understand. Is she your niece or something? Stop asking questions and go to your seat, Aizawa said sternly. Startled by his gaze, Izumi quickly took her seat. Once all the students were settled, Ida stood up and loudly greeted the teacher, startling Eri, who hid behind Aizawa's legs. Aizawa shot an angry look at Ida. I'm sorry. Ida stammered. Sit down. As Ida took his seat, Aizawa began speaking again. Well, class, if you're wondering who this girl is with me, let me introduce you to Eri Aizawa. She is my adopted daughter. The girls in the class looked at her with admiration. Stop it. Usually, I keep her in the teacher's lounge with the other teachers, but she insisted on coming today. Eri, these are my students, say hello. Eri, feeling a bit nervous, stepped forward to introduce herself. Oh, you're so cute. My name is Mina, nice to meet you, a pink-skinned girl exclaimed. Yes, you're really cute, another voice chimed in. Eri looked around, confused about where the second voice came from. Aizawa explained, Hagakure has an invisibility quirk. She is invisible and unfortunately can't turn it off. Eri didn't quite understand, so Aizawa explained it to her calmly. All right, class, depending on the letters sent by the heroes, you can choose anyone you wish to intern with. Some of your classmates already got internships during the sports festival, like Katsuki Bakugo, which is why they are absent. Izumi glanced at her best friend's empty seat, feeling a bit sad. Suddenly, the door swung open, and All Might entered, carrying 20 boxes at once. He started, but Aizawa's deadly stare made him stop in his tracks. Put the boxes on the table and get out. Yes, Aizawa, All Might replied, placing the boxes down and leaving. Aizawa distributed the boxes filled with application letters. Some were overflowing, while others had only a few. And now you, he began, but was interrupted by Midnight entering the room. You will be deciding your names with me. Auntie Nemuri! Eri exclaimed as she ran up to hug her. My favorite niece. Midnight said, picking her up and hugging her tightly. I think you should start the name deciding session, Nemuri, Aizawa said. Ah yes, so young heroes, are you ready to choose your hero names to protect your private lives? Midnight asked, and the students cheered with excitement. As everyone selected their names, Izumi declared, "My hero name is Deku." Well, not bad. But what does it mean? Midnight asked. Useless. Izumi replied. Huh? Midnight exclaimed. Yes, useless. You know, Izumi, if I were you, I wouldn't have chosen that. I used to call someone close to me that. He passed away, which is why I wanted to take this name. Well, that's a good reason. But who calls their loved ones useless? Whatever, you can keep that name, but it can't be changed after this. Izumi nodded, while her classmates were left wondering why she had chosen such a name but didn't ask further. Alright, so all of you have chosen your hero names. Now, choose whom you want to intern under. But before that, Izumi, your father asked me to tell you that he wants to talk, and afterward, I want to talk with you about something. Izumi had an inkling about why her father wanted to speak with her, but she was unsure about Aizawa's intentions. When she met her father, she learned that his MSTR wanted to train her. Confused, she recalled seeing his MSTR at a crime scene. What was his name again? Oh yes, Grand Torino. As she returned to the classroom, Aizawa stopped her. Why did you choose the name Deku, Izumi? Because I called a special person that who died because of a villain attack, she lied. And this deceased person happens to be Izuku, doesn't it? Izumi's heart raced, and she felt a chill run down her spine. Yes, his name was Izuku. Do you know why he didn't have a surname? Izumi didn't know that Izuku was not allowed to use his surname, Yagi. I don't know, Mr. Aizawa, she said, looking down. Aizawa studied her, sensing a connection to the case. He was your sibling, wasn't he? Tears filled Izumi's eyes as she looked up at him. It wasn't hard to figure out. You share too many similar facial features. Plus, his BRD certificate clearly states he was a Yagi. The police had discovered his identity as a Yagi but chose to keep the truth about the deceased child, All Might's son, from the public. Izumi was about to question how they knew, but Aizawa interrupted her, taking her by the hand to the principal's office where they met Nizu. Aizawa, what brings you here with young Yagi? Nizu inquired. Aizawa requested that Nizu call her parents. Nizu, slightly puzzled, complied. When Talinko and All Might entered the room, All Might asked, Sir, you called us? Nizu explained that Aizawa wanted to speak with them. Turning to All Might, Aizawa asked, All Might, or should I say Toshinori-kun, what happened to your other child who died a couple of months ago? All Might fell silent, and Inko began to weep as memories of Izuku flooded back. Aizawa pressed on, Inko, do you know something we don't? Before Inko could respond, Toshinori intervened. No, let me explain. Don't pressure her. She's already very stressed and heartbroken after Izuku's death. Aizawa insisted on the truth and called for Detective Tsukachi. As Detective Tsukachi entered, Nizu asked, What is happening, Aizawa-kun? Aizawa replied, A truth that needs to come out. All Might truthfully recounted everything that had happened to Izuku after the quirk checkup. Tsukachi expressed his disappointment. Shame on you, Toshi. I thought you, having been neglected by your father, would never do the same to your children, but you did. You were harsh on him. And you, Inko, I thought you were the purest of them, but I was wrong. Neglecting your own child. God never forgives such parents. And you, brat. I knew something was off, but I let it slide. How am I still a detective? Nizu intervened with a stern gaze. Calm down, Mr. Tsukachi, this is my office. These three may be criminals in humanity's eyes, but not in the laws. They are fortunate there isn't an official law against neglectful parents in Asia, or they would be behind bars. Aizawa added, they should be behind bars, but we can't. The world, our country Japan, still needs their heroes. It's a shame I can't arrest you, or the citizens might lose faith in heroes, leading to a rise in vigilantes and crime. Aizawa looked at the crying Izumi and her parents, who were also in tears, not because they were caught, but because they had lost a family member, their son, and Izumi's brother. Are you even remorseful? He asked. The Yagis replied, "Every day we feel remorseful about our actions and try to be better by becoming genuinely good human beings." Aizawa rubbed his eyes in frustration. Nizu advised, "Aizawa, I think you know what to do." Aizawa nodded. "Yes, Izumi, go to your class. And both of you, go to your job as heroes." As the Yagis left, Aizawa confided in Nizu, "This is really difficult for me, you know." Nizu reassured him, "You did a great job." The scene shifted to Class 1A. As Izumi entered, she noticed everyone whispering and looking at her. "Hey guys," she greeted them. As she approached, they whispered, "Stay away from us, killer." Confused, Izumi asked, "What?" They repeated, "Stay away from us, you murderer. You killed your own brother." Izumi protested, "No, I didn't. It was an accident." As she looked at them, their faces began to distort, turning into nightmarish versions of Izuku, covered in blood. "You killed me," they accused. Izumi screamed, "Nu-oo." She awoke from her bed, screaming. It was 4 a.m. Tashinori and Inko rushed in. "Are you all right, Izumi?" they asked. Breathing, she replied, "Yes, I am. It was a nightmare." They comforted her, "Don't worry about anything. Tomorrow you have an internship to attend. Sleep tight, honey." As they left the room, Izumi realized something. The events of the internship and hero name choosing took place at UA. She had chosen the name Deku as her hero name. Katsuki and Katsumi were both present and chose to intern under Best Jeanist and Mirko, respectively. She chose to intern under Gran Torino, as her father advised. Midnight didn't question her hero name, and Aizawa didn't ask her to talk about Izuku. However, she did meet Eri today, just like in the nightmare. Eri exclaimed that Izumi looked just like the person who saved her, though neither she nor Aizawa understood why it triggered thoughts of Izuku and created the nightmare. Izumi cried herself to sleep, missing Izuku and feeling guilty about hurting him. The nightmares returned, worsening her mental health. The chapter ended with Izumi arriving at the station and meeting her classmates, all ready to leave for their internships. As many of her friends chatted, she noticed Ida seemed more tense than ever. "Hey, Tenya-san. Why are you so tense?" Izumi asked. Ida replied, "Oh my bad, I'm sorry. My brother was found unconscious in an alleyway." "Is he all right?" Izumi asked, concerned. "Yes, he is fine, but he was sad that he couldn't catch the hero killer and bring him to justice," Ida explained. Izumi tried to reassure him, "Well, he or maybe another hero can take down the hero killer." "But you know the hero killer has killed so many heroes. Many people have lost family members, many mothers lost their sons or daughters, many wives and husbands lost their life partners, and many children lost their parents. I can't let that happen. It hurts both my brothers and my heart that he isn't punished. I have no words to describe my anger towards him," Ida confessed. Izumi reminded him, "But Ida, you need to understand that this line of work is really risky and sometimes may lead to death. Your brother was all right, so you don't need to worry." "Ida, what are you going to do?" Izumi asked, noticing his hesitation. "Nothing. I will protect civilians," he replied, looking away. Izumi knew he planned to confront the hero killer. "Okay, Ida, give me your phone number." "What? Why?" "So you don't do something that will make you feel immense guilt." "What do you know about guilt? My brother was hurt because of that villain, and I couldn't do anything." Ida walked away quickly, leaving Izumi watching him go. "I know a thing or two about guilt," she muttered as she boarded her train to Mustafu. As she sat down, a memory surfaced. Flashback. Inko, Tashinori, and Izumi were visiting a psychologist. "All right, what seems to be the problem, Miss Yagi?" the doctor asked, glancing at Izumi. "I'm having constant nightmares," Izumi admitted. "Are these nightmares about someone or something?" the doctor inquired. Izumi hesitated before answering. "Yes, it's about my brother." "What happened to your brother?" "He was killed by a villain." "And why do you call your dreams nightmares?" "I don't know, they're scary, that's why." "Can you describe them? Maybe the words he spoke in your dreams." Izumi fell silent, struggling to articulate her thoughts. She recalled the distorted figure of the man whose words she couldn't decipher. The doctor, sensing her hesitation, pressed on. "What is your quirk, Miss Yagi?" "My mother and I have a telekinesis quirk," Izumi replied. "That's significant. Telekinesis relies heavily on the brain. Do you harbor any guilt?" Izumi hesitated, then admitted, "Yes, for not being able to save my brother," she lied, whispering to herself, "and for bullying him." The doctor only caught the first part. There's a mental condition common among telekinesis users. If they carry guilt or trauma, they experience hallucinations and nightmares. You, Miss Yagi, are suffering from this. Inko's eyes widened with concern. Is there a cure? There is, but only if she confronts and overcomes her guilt or trauma. Otherwise, the condition persists. Tashinori interjected, "Is there no other solution?" "Regrettably, no. I can prescribe medication to suppress the symptoms, but she must face her trauma to truly heal." Inko felt a wave of sadness, reflecting on her son's death and her belief that she didn't deserve a son like Izuku. The Yagi family left the clinic, burdened with medication and heavy hearts. Flashback ends. Izumi found herself at Gran Torino's house. As she knocked, the door swung open, revealing the old man covered in red liquid. She screamed. "Why are you screaming?" Gran Torino asked, looking up at her. "I thought you were dead." "Oh no. I just spilled some sauce on myself." Relieved, Izumi replied, "Oh. So, what's your name again?" "Izumi." "What did you say?" "I couldn't hear you." "My name is Izumi." "Say your hero name, idiot," he scolded, tapping her on the head with a stick. "Never use your real name in public." "Sorry," she said, rubbing her head. "Is this your suit?" he asked, inspecting her outfit. "Huh." She turned to see him fiddling with it. "Hey, stop it. Not a bad suit. Wear it, we'll start training." He pointed to the bathroom. "Change in there." After changing, her training with Gran Torino began. Scene change. Meanwhile, Shigaraki confronted Stain. "So, what do you say, Stain? Join us and kill heroes to your heart's content." "You can go to hell." "I work alone," Stain replied, turning to leave. "I only kill fake heroes. You and your emissaries FO can go to hell." "How do you know about my emsu?" Shigaraki shouted, reaching for him. Stain grabbed Shigaraki's hand and slammed him down. "You're just a traumatized kid with misguided goals. You don't see the bigger picture. All those heroes are fake. Don't try to teach me anything." Shigaraki retorted. Just then, the floor beneath him disintegrated due to his quirk, causing him to fall. Stain seized the opportunity to escape. "Foolish kid," he muttered as he vanished. Scene change. On a rooftop, Izuku observed the streets, aware that his presence deterred crime. "I am bored," he thought, contemplating the traitor at UA he had learned about from Crimson Colonel. Suddenly, he spotted Yuga Oyama, the traitor. The prediction of him being the traitor came from Crimson Colonel himself, as the kid was diagnosed quirkless. However, after a year, a quirk appeared in him that didn't match his genetics or his parents. Izuku had two options: wait and observe to clear his suspicions or act now and access Aoyama's memories. He decided to confront Aoyama but had no intention of killing him, just to access his memories. As Izuku jumped down from the building, Aoyama was on his way to his internship. Hearing the crash, Aoyama turned to see the mysterious murderer. "Huh! Oh no!" he exclaimed, just as he was about to run. Izuku grabbed him by the neck. "Why are you trying to kill me in my class?" Aoyama asked, panic in his voice. "Nothing personal." "Maybe some personal stuff," Izuku replied, tightening his grip just enough to avoid fatal harm. Memories and abilities of Aoyama flooded into Izuku's mind. When he opened his eyes, Aoyama was unconscious. "What have you gotten yourself into, dude?" Izuku thought. Just as he was about to take more drastic action, he reconsidered and decided to leave Aoyama for now. He picked up his mobile and called the police, mimicking Aoyama's voice before fleeing the area. "That guy is going to pay," he muttered as he climbed a building. Reaching the top of the skyscraper, Izuku searched for the telephone antenna to connect his mobile and locate Aoyama's house. Scene change. Izumi was training with Gran Torino but struggled to keep up, her legs aching. Listen, Izumi, you have to figure out a way to control one for all, Gran Torino instructed. But how? She replied in frustration. Don't shout. Your father was able to control one for all on his first try, Gran Torino reminded her. Izumi looked down, disappointed in herself. Okay, let's go back to my home and figure something out for you, he said. Scene change. Izuku stood in front of Aoyama's large home. He jumped to a window ledge, using some tendrils to open the window and sneak inside. The interior resembled a mansion. As he looked around, he found Aoyama's parents in the dining room, having lunch. Suddenly, tendrils appeared behind Izuku, grabbing them by the throat and pulling them towards him. Who are you, and why are you attacking us? Aoyama's father gasped. Nothing much, Izuku said, tightening his grip. Please, take anything you want, just don't kill us. Aoyama's mother pleaded. Izuku buried his fingers in their throats just enough to access their memories without causing death. They fell unconscious. You guys are better parents than mine, but you've pulled your child into a mess he can't escape, he remarked before leaving and calling the police again, mimicking their voices. Scene change. Izumi sat at Gran Torino's dining table, brainstorming how to control one for all. Gran Torino sat across from her, reading a newspaper. Suddenly, a bell rang. Izumi, can you bring the food out of the microwave? Gran Torino called. Snapped back to reality, Izumi replied, yes. As she picked up the food, an idea struck her, and she accidentally dropped the dish, shattering it on the floor. Gran Torino looked at her. What idea did you get by letting go of our meal? Sweating, Izumi explained, if I let one for all's energy flow through my body gradually, I might be able to control it. That's a nice idea. Now clean the mess and order some pizza, Gran Torino replied. Scene change. Izuku stood on the skyscraper. I didn't get all for one's hideout, but I gathered useful information that will help me lure him out. Suddenly, a flock of birds appeared behind him, birds infected by him that now worked for him. All right, everyone, keep an eye out for the League of Villains on Mustafu Island. Inform me wherever they go, he instructed as the birds flew away, looking normal despite their origins. Izuku pondered his next move, realizing that Aoyama's quirk, naval laser, could be beneficial. Now I have to wait and watch, he thought. Despite Aoyama's parents lacking strong quirks, Izuku saw potential in adapting the naval laser for his own use. Suddenly, 2 green laser beams shot from his eyes. I can use it like laser vision, he mused. Scene change. Izumi and Gran Torino were enjoying pizza while watching TV when a news report interrupted their meal. A first-year UA hero student, Yuga Aoyama, was attacked by the mysterious murderer, the first news anchor announced. He was left unconscious with wounds on his neck. The second anchor added, that same night, Mr. Aoyama's parents were also attacked by the mysterious murderer. What were the intentions behind these attacks? Stay tuned for more updates, the first anchor concluded. Izumi gripped her pizza tightly, anxiety evident in her demeanor. Calm down, Izumi. The police are investigating. Don't worry, your friend is alive, Gran Torino reassured her. Yes, Gran Torino, Izumi replied, trying to steady her nerves. Meanwhile, Izuku stood over a thug, demanding, where is 9? I don't know anything about him, the thug began, but Izuku silenced him with a decisive move. Later, Izumi and Gran Torino trained vigorously in a nearby forest. Gran Torino leaped from branch to branch, with Izumi striving to keep pace. Suddenly, she slipped and fell to the ground. Gran Torino noticed her absence and quickly returned to check on her. How did you fall? He asked, producing an ointment from his pocket. Izumi applied it to her wounds. Sorry, I slipped on a tree. Gran Torino observed her troubled expression. You're still thinking about the attack on your classmate. Sorry, Izumi mumbled. Gran Torino sat beside her. I know you're upset about the attack, but if you want to capture that villain, you need to get stronger and faster. We can't waste time, let's focus on your training. Izumi looked at him with determination. She admired Gran Torino's kind and motivating nature, reminiscent of her brother's. As she resumed training, she struggled to keep up with him but was improving steadily. She learned to control One for All, though she knew it was still a work in progress. One for All was a unique quirk, full of mysteries and untapped potential. As day turned to night, Gran Torino said, "All right, today is your last day here. Let's go on a patrol so you can learn more about the laws and your environment." But does a hero need to understand their surroundings? I get the laws for arresting villains, but why the environment? Izumi questioned. That's where you're mistaken. If you don't understand your situation, you could get into trouble. You might have to choose between capturing a villain and saving a civilian in danger, Gran Torino explained. What do you mean? Izumi asked. Imagine you're facing a villain, but there's a civilian in danger nearby. What would you do? He posed. I don't know. If I let the villain escape, they might commit more crimes. But if I save the civilian, the villain could get away, Izumi replied, conflicted. That's a good point, but you're missing the bigger picture. As a hero, your priority is to protect civilians, even if it costs you your life. Our main goal is their safety, and the police help us bring villains to justice. Heroes play a vital role, but so do police officers. They hold off villains so heroes can step in, Gran Torino explained. Izumi listened intently, realizing the complexity of their roles. So, you're saying that both heroes and police have important jobs? Exactly. The world is harsh, and not everyone is gifted. Some turn to villainy to survive. We can't blame them entirely. Society plays a part in their choices, Gran Torino said. Izumi reflected on this, understanding that to bring justice, a hero needs not only power but also the support of the police. She thought of her quirkless brother and the struggles he faced, regretting that she hadn't been able to help him. A time skip brought them to a bullet train traveling to Multiverse City when suddenly, the train shook violently. An ugly creature with a brain protruding from its head opened a large hole in the train. Gran Torino quickly launched himself at the creature, pushing it out of the train. Turned to Izumi and instructed, Deku, take care of the civilians and make sure they are safe. Stay with them. All right, everyone stay calm. No need to worry, Deku reassured the passengers. Everyone was safe inside the train when the operator came from another compartment to check on the passengers. He was shocked to see a huge hole in the train. What kind of person did that to the train? The train operator exclaimed. Deku looked at the operator and quickly explained the attack, urging him to call the station for help. Please call the station staff to send fire trucks and police to safely evacuate the passengers. This train is no longer safe to travel on. The operator immediately began calling for rescue. After about half an hour, police and fire trucks arrived to safely take the passengers off the train. Deku helped the officers and kept the passengers calm to prevent panic. After ensuring everyone was safe, Deku overheard that the city was in chaos, with multiple unrecognizable creatures wreaking havoc. The city was in flames, and she could hear people screaming and running away. Realizing that G.T might need her help, she launched herself over a small building, jumping from one to another like GT. She spotted G.T fighting a monstrous creature alongside Endeavor. She jumped down and called out to GT. Deku, what are you doing here? I ordered you to stay with the civilians. G.T said, a hint of annoyance in his voice. The civilians are rescued and safe. I'm here to help you, Deku replied. G.T was slightly irritated that she hadn't fully obeyed his order but decided to let it slide. All right, you're allowed to use your quirk. Just then, one of Endeavor's underlings called out, informing him that the villain hero killer Stain was in the city hunting heroes. Hearing this, Deku knew Ilda was in danger and launched herself in the opposite direction. Where are you going? G.T shouted. To save my friend. Deku called back as she continued on her way. G.T felt tension rise and let his guard down, leaving him vulnerable to an attack from a creature known as Nomu. Just then, a huge blast of flame pushed the creature away. Stop worrying about her and focus on the present situation, or you might die. Endeavor warned. G.T appreciated Endeavor's help and concern, refocusing on the battle against the Nomus. Meanwhile, Deku was jumping from one building to another until she finally found Hilda in an alleyway, lying on the ground before Hero Killer Stain. Horrified, she rushed at him with a powerful blow, but Stain was faster and dodged her attack. "I'm not going to let you hurt my friend," Deku declared. "Go away, kid." "It's none of your business," Stain replied dismissively. "I can't," Deku insisted. Hilda, who had accepted his fate, looked up in shock. Hilda was taken aback when she saw Yagi-san. "What are you doing here, Yagi-san?" she exclaimed. "I'm here to save you," Deku replied with determination. Hilda, however, was resolute. "Run away, it's my fight," she urged. Before Deku could respond, Stain interrupted with disdain. "And that's why I used to hunt down fake heroes like you. You fakes don't deserve to live. You hurt my brother. I'm here to take revenge for that," Hilda shouted defiantly. Stain sneered. "You're an idiot, kid. But this girl seems to be more intelligent than you," he said, fixing his gaze on Deku. "So how about this? You leave this place, and you get to live, Miss Hero, or die with your idiotic friend." Deku stood her ground, sending a distress message to her friends with her location. "How will I be a hero if I can't help the people in need?" she declared. Stain smiled at her resolve. "I like that you remind me so much of All Might. Let's have a fierce battle. What is your name, hero?" "My name is Deku," she replied confidently. "Deku? Maybe there is still hope," like he said. "You might not know, but I stopped hunting heroes," Stain revealed. "What?" Deku and Hilda exclaimed in unison. "Yes, I was here to hunt down some particular villains, but they already started their attack on the city. And this fool came after me, claiming he would defeat me. I will defeat you for hurting my brother," Hilda declared with determination. Stain turned to her, curious. "Talking about brothers, who is your brother?" Suddenly, another figure appeared, revealing himself to be Izuku from another universe. "What? How?" Deku was stunned. The alternate Izuku began to speak. "Oh, do you know about the multiverse?" "Yeah. Why do you ask?" Izuku replied, realization dawning on him. The alternate Izuku continued, "Looking at your expression, it seems you already know. Saves me time. But what are you doing here in my universe?" "I'm just checking out other universes that might interest me." "And that is?" Izuku asked. "That's not important right now. My question is, how did you get your powers?" "Huh?" Izuku responded, caught off guard. "I know about the blacklight virus. So tell me without hesitation." "And why would I want to do that?" Izuku retorted, wary. "You're boring. I might just end you here," the alternate Izuku threatened, causing Izuku to go on high alert. "I will ask you again, how did you get the virus?" the alternate Izuku pressed. "I didn't get it. It was forced into me," Izuku explained. "Forced?" the alternate Izuku inquired, intrigued. "On the last day of school, I was shot down from the school's rooftop by my sister and Bakugo." Please proceed," the alternate Izuku urged. "I was really wounded and on the verge of death when suddenly a vial full of the blacklight virus fell on me and broke. The virus coursed through his bloodstream, becoming a part of him." Izuku, still on high alert, wasn't sure if this other version of himself was trustworthy. The alternate Izuku sighed, then smiled. "Man. After so long, I finally found someone with a similar experience. The way you explained how you got the virus is almost identical to mine. That might have just saved your life." Izuku was puzzled. "Saved my life? From whom?" "From getting killed by me," the alternate Izuku replied nonchalantly. Izuku was shocked. "Why would you want to kill me?" "Why wouldn't I? I've been searching for another Izuku who has gone through similar experiences and has similar powers." "Did you kill any other versions of us?" Izuku asked, horrified. The alternate Izuku looked around at the beauty of nature before turning to Izuku. "Yes." "Why?" Izuku demanded. "Why wouldn't I? What did you gain from that?" Izuku pressed. "Just venting some frustration," the alternate Izuku replied with a shrug. "Venting frustration about what?" Izuku was incredulous. You wouldn't understand, you haven't traveled through multiple universes just to find someone like you, the alternate Izuku said, shaking his head. Izuku was utterly shocked. After all, everyone else is just a lesser being to me. Your existence is nothing but that of an insect, the alternate Izuku continued. Stop messing with me! Izuku shouted. I am straight, the alternate Izuku replied, misunderstanding. That's not what I meant. Izuku retorted. Then what do you mean? I'm not interested in anyone, especially not another male. I am straight, the alternate Izuku clarified. What did you gain by killing us? Izuku asked again, struggling to understand. Venting? A little relief for my mind, the alternate Izuku said, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Izuku looked at him, struggling to comprehend how someone could be so cruel. He calmed himself down, realizing that if this version of him could kill others, he wouldn't hesitate to do the same. Is there anything else you're searching for in other universes? Izuku asked, trying to steer the conversation. Yes. Something that can reverse the state of one's universe, the alternate Izuku revealed. What are you talking about? Izuku stammered. You see, I kind of destroyed all life in my universe out of rage. I want to restore it to how it was so I can get my revenge, the alternate Izuku explained. Izuku was now shocked beyond belief. What are you talking about? Just something that can restore things to a previous state, but I need to figure out how to expand it to a universe level, the alternate Izuku said. What? Izuku was at a loss for words. Don't worry, that was my first universe to destroy. I've destroyed 8 more since then, but I eventually stopped, the alternate Izuku said casually. What are you? Izuku asked, horrified. You see me as evil, but I am the embodiment of evil itself. I wanted to know if there's something in your universe that can help reverse the state of mine, the alternate Izuku explained. Suddenly, a panel popped out of his hand with notifications. Izuku began to sweat, realizing that only Eri had that kind of power. If he revealed this, Eri would be in danger. Isn't there something you can create to do that? Izuku asked, trying to deflect. No, I tried. There isn't anything I could make, but I have a method to amplify it, the alternate Izuku said, operating the panel. Izuku thought, no way, I can't risk Eri's life. This guy is dangerous. No, there isn't anything like that in my universe, Izuku lied. Are you sure about that? The alternate Izuku asked, looking at Izuku with a monotone voice and expression. I think there is. This girl named Eri seems to have a power that can reverse the state of someone or something. Why did you lie? As Izuku readied himself to fight, he declared, I can't let you hurt her. Oh, Izuku, she wouldn't feel a thing before I consume her. Why fear? The alternate Izuku taunted. No! Izuku shouted, launching himself at the alternate Izuku with blades he acquired from Mercer and Heller. Fine, have it your way, the alternate Izuku said, blocking the attack with his shield. The alternate Izuku punched Izuku so hard that he was sent crashing into a mountain, creating a massive hole. He didn't even break a sweat, it wasn't even his strongest attack. The blast caused a commotion in nearby cities, triggering an earthquake that wasn't natural but caused by the other Izuku. You're alive? Not much surprise to me. I haven't even used a quarter of my power, the alternate Izuku remarked, unfazed. The scene shifted to Izuku, who lay deep within a massive crater, his lower body severely injured and surrounded by dust and debris. He looked up at his alternate self with bloodshot eyes, filled with pain and fury. You will pay, he vowed as green lasers shot from his eyes, targeting the other Izuku. The alternate Izuku smirked, unfazed by the attack. Shooting lasers from your eyes? Do you think you're Superman? He taunted, emerging from the smoke with only minor burns. But you don't know, I killed the entire Justice League and destroyed the Earth of my universe with my own hands, the alternate Izuku continued, his eyes glowing red as he unleashed a massive laser, obliterating the surroundings. Izuku barely managed to dodge the devastating attack, his shock evident. Izuku was stunned by the blast, reminiscent of Superman's powers. What had happened in this alternate universe to grant such abilities? There was still much he didn't understand. Come on, tell me where she is, And the pain stops real soon, the other Izuku demanded. No. It doesn't matter if I die fighting you. Izuku replied, transforming into his armor mode. I will not let you harm her. Don't say I didn't warn you, the other Izuku shouted, launching at Izuku with a powerful punch. To his surprise, it had no effect on Izuku's armor. What? How? I used 10% of my strength. You should be in pieces, the other Izuku exclaimed. You don't need to know. Izuku retorted, punching back with all his might. The other Izuku looked at him, his face unscathed. If I can't kill you, then I'll use you to kill others, the other Izuku declared, grabbing Izuku's legs and slamming him into the ground. Though Izuku remained unharmed, the impact created tremors. If I can't have that power, no one can, he shouted, smashing Izuku into the ground again. His nullifying armor protected him from the impact, but the force could not be nullified. Come on, let me go. Izuku yelled, kicking at the other Izuku's face multiple times to free himself. As he struggled, he noticed the terrain changing. Suddenly, a massive mass of biomass erupted from the ground, forming a gigantic arm that squashed the other Izuku into the ground. Izuku was amazed to see his hand grow enormous, like a skyscraper. The biomass transformed into a familiar figure, Gigantomachia. Gigantomachia! Izuku exclaimed. Yes, I came to help you, Gigantomachia replied. Yeah. Thanks. Izuku said, still astonished by the transformation. Just then, a sudden laughter caught their attention. A mere pawn can't help you. It's not even close to making me bleed, the other Izuku taunted. Izuku felt a chill. He knew this opponent was serious. Look, can't we talk? Izuku pleaded. Fear? I just love the smell of it, the other Izuku said, claws appearing. Sheet! Izuku cursed, bringing out his own claws. You could have saved yourself by helping me. But no. Everyone wants to go against me. I've had enough. It's time to destroy this universe alongside you. The laughter echoed around them as dust obscured the being approaching. It was All Might. Why is this commotion happening? All Might began, but his eyes widened in shock. You're alive. My son, he said, rushing to hug Izuku, only to be grabbed by the throat by the other Izuku. Ha! How pathetic you've become. Even though I am not your real son, your foolishness amazes me, the other Izuku mocked. What are you talking about? All Might gasped before being thrown far away. I think we can both agree he isn't needed here, the other Izuku said, glancing at Izuku. Amen. Izuku muttered. Now, rookie, behold my powers, the other Izuku declared, transforming his arm into whip fists and penetrating the ground. What? Izuku said, confused as the ground began to shake. A massive worm-like monster erupted, resembling the whip fists. What the hell? Izuku exclaimed. The monster lashed out at him, but Gigantomachia caught it, only to be thrown aside. The WHP monster shot tendrils at Izuku, who dodged but noticed it was skiing up debris and rocks. The monster targeted Izuku, launching debris at him like tendril bombs, causing explosions as they hit. Izuku dodged and destroyed some with his laser eyes. Suddenly, the monster vanished from sight as the other Izuku called it back. Let's take it up another level, he shouted, floating into the air and flying straight for Izuku, punching him upward without giving him a chance to react. Izuku soared through the air, crashing into a skyscraper. Sheet! He groaned as he stood up, the entire building shaking. It began to tilt, and Izuku struggled to balance himself by holding onto a pillar. He saw people falling onto the glass panels, which began to crack. As the glass shattered, Izuku caught them with his tendrils. Suddenly, the building spun and was thrown into another building, causing a catastrophic crash. Come out wherever you are. Daddy's got a surprise for you, the other Izuku taunted ominously. Izuku, crawling under the debris, was suddenly pulled out. Say hello, the other Izuku sneered, gripping him tightly. We both know how this is going down. You know the drill, he said, attempting to pierce Izuku's throat with his hand. But Izuku's Blacklight 2.0 rejected him, consuming part of the other Izuku instead, though neither of them realized it. What? The other Izuku exclaimed in disbelief. Why was it rejected? This never happened. Rah! It hurts. As he leaves, Izuku is left holding onto his hand, which is now melting. This is the first time it rejected, Izuku said, looking at the other Izuku. I don't know what you did, but you will regret it. As he regenerated, he moved to punch him with Superman strength. To both of their surprise, Izuku caught the punch. His senses heightened, and his strength seemed to increase. You know what goes around must come around, Izuku declared, pulling back his hand and punching the other Izuku with Superman strength, sending him flying. As Izuku launched the other Izuku into the air, he saw him regain control. The alternate rubbed his face, noticing a slight amount of blood on his hands. Good. You were holding back, I see. But it will take more than that, the other Izuku said, his eyes shining brightly as he shot lasers from them. Sheet. Izuku responded in kind, and when their lasers collided, a huge blast occurred. As Izuku prepared to sprint and jump to punch the other Izuku, he unleashed a rapid series of punches. The attack was so fast that he could barely see it. Astonished, he found the other Izuku standing in front of him, dark scarlet lightning coursing through him. Like I said, it will take more than that to take me down. I am a new god, the other Izuku declared, vanishing again. Izuku suddenly felt a hit on the back of his head, unable to sense any attack. You should have cooperated, the other Izuku said, his voice echoing ominously. In a flash, he seized Izuku and sprinted away, scarlet lightning crackling around them. The lightning expanded, tearing a hole in the fabric of reality, and they both plunged through it. Izuku groaned in pain as they emerged in the Marvel Universe, right in front of Avengers Tower. They crashed into the tower, and the other Izuku collided with Hulk, emptying the entire fridge. He slammed Izuku into Hulk's face, sending him flying into a wall. Hulk managed to stop himself and searched for his attacker. Who attacks Hulk? Hulk smashed them, he roared. As they moved through the tower, alarms blared, alerting everyone to the intruder. Thor reminisced, I miss my old hunting days in Asgard. Clint, would you like to go on a hunting trip with me? Hawkeye replied, yet no. I've had my fair share of Asgard trips. As they walked through a hallway, Tony alerted everyone about the intruder. All right, some action at last, Thor exclaimed, picking up his hammer. But something struck it so quickly that they couldn't see what it was. Thor, why did you throw your hammer that way? There isn't any villain there, if I'm not blind, Hawkeye remarked. I didn't throw my hammer, it just flung out of my hand, Thor replied. Tony, something just flung Thor's hammer out of his hand, Hawkeye reported. What? How about we stop talking about flinging Thor's hammer and locate the intruder? I can't find him, Tony responded. Captain America joined the call, suggesting, Tony, maybe use thermal vision to locate the intruder. Cap, I already did. But there's nothing I can find, Tony replied. An alert came from Jarvis. Sir, there is a source of energy roaming around in the tower. Living laser? But he shouldn't be here, Tony exclaimed. No, sir, the energy pattern is unknown and completely new. The pattern doesn't match with living laser, Jarvis clarified. Dim it. Avengers, locate the intruder before something else happens, Tony ordered. All the heroes nodded, and the search began. Meanwhile, Izuku, who had been smashed into various objects, tried to escape the other Izuku's grip. He delivered a double foot kick to the other Izuku's face, and they crashed into the living room of the tower near the helipad. Izuku, now free and on the ground, spat out blood. You mother! He cursed, looking around in confusion. Where are we? I don't know. But who cares? You will be destroyed in this universe anyway, the other Izuku taunted with a smirk. How did we even get here? Things just flashed by. Izuku demanded. Welcome to the Bioforce or Biospeed Force, whatever you want to call it, the other Izuku explained. Back with the Avengers, Jarvis notified Tony about two unknown individuals in the living room. Sir, there are two unknown individuals in the living room. They suddenly appeared. Teleportation. Doesn't matter. Avengers, Assemble in the living room. Tony commanded. Back with the two Izukus, Izuku exclaimed, "What? Biospeed force? But speed force doesn't work like that. Sometimes science works in mysterious ways. I start consuming beings like Flash. It doesn't matter because you will be dead anyway," the other Izuku replied. "If you can use that, then so can I," Izuku declared. As Izuku's body began to shapeshift, trying to resist the bioforce, the other Izuku laughed. "Haha, you think you can get bioforce by just shapeshifting? You either have to consume more speedsters or consume me, and that is entirely impossible." Suddenly, green electricity started to flow out of Izuku. He had tapped into the bioforce. Izuku's eyes widened in surprise. A power boost surged through him after he attempted to consume the giant pile of biomass. It hadn't been enough to scratch his opponent before. "How did you? When?" Izuku was puzzled, unable to find an answer. "The game isn't over till I say it's over. I may not have any clue, but it doesn't matter, you will lose." As they prepared to fight, loud screams echoed around them. "Hulk smash! Feel the wrath of Thor Odinson!" Thor shouted, delivering a powerful punch that sent Izuku flying out of the tower. Izuku managed to defend himself with his armor against Mjolnir. "What the hell?" he exclaimed. "You are tough, but nothing that Mjolnir can't handle," Thor replied, swinging the hammer again. The weight of Mjolnir pressed Izuku down to the ground. "Why is this hammer so heavy?" Izuku struggled to push it off his chest. Meanwhile, Thor and the other Avengers discussed their next steps. "This guy is still alive after Mjolnir has been smashed onto his chest. That's impressive," Natasha noted. "No, Mjolnir didn't put enough pressure to kill him, just enough to put him down," Thor explained. "How is this hammer so heavy?" Izuku repeated, still trying to get free. "What about the other one?" "He is still out there," Tony said, looking concerned. "Thor, keep an eye on him." "Hulk, Tony, and I will look for the other one," Captain America instructed. "We need to inform S.H.I.E.L.D. about the intruders," Natasha added. "No, I will not let S.H.I.E.L.D. come into my tower. Last time they caused enough damage with the molecular man. They couldn't even find the staff until his son appeared with it," Tony argued. "We're also responsible for that," Cap replied. "We didn't know about his family. Then giving them the kid with the staff wasn't the right choice either," Tony countered. "They can easily train him to become a powerful weapon." "You say that when you can easily turn the staff into a powerful weapon yourself," Natasha pointed out. "Yeah, you make it sound like I'm some power-hungry monster," Tony retorted. "You might be if you're not careful," Natasha warned. Suddenly, Hulk interrupted, "The guy I smashed is back." Izuku stood up, visibly angry. "You all are really in for it," he shouted, firing heat vision at them. He extended his tendrils to create a protective cover for the Avengers. "Come on. Get out of here with your Dmed hammer," he yelled as Thor called back Mjolnir. "All right, I know that we are complete strangers, but right now, if we don't cooperate, we will be killed by him," Izuku said urgently. "Not like we have any choice. So tell me, kid, what is your plan?" Tony asked. Izuku shared his plan, but then he noticed something strange. "Why is it not disintegrating still?" he exclaimed as the tendrils began to retract. He braced himself for a huge blast when he was suddenly hit hard and fast by two fists and Mjolnir. The impact created a shockwave that shattered windows in multiple buildings. The force was enough to send Izuku crashing into the sea. As he struggled to surface, he was dragged by another Izuku to an island far from Manhattan. He barely maintained the biospeed force before reaching the shore. In comics, the power seemed easily usable, but in reality, it was challenging, especially with little memory of the heroes he had consumed. Izuku crashed onto the island, covered in sand, and slowly rose, still damp. "Dare?" he shouted, holding his head. Feeling unsteady, he replied, "Yeah." "What?" Just then, a voice crackled through the earpiece in his right ear, a device given to him by Tony. "We're on our way in the Avenger jet. Falcon will arrive before us to give you some edge. Until then, hold on," Tony instructed. "Yeah," Izuku responded, slowly regaining his composure. Alright then, dude. You said it's not over until you say so. Get ready for round 2. He slammed his fists into the ground, causing a slight tremor. Suddenly, spikes shot up from the earth, prompting him to dodge. What? How are you doing this with bare hands? I have to use either hammer fists or claws to do that. You don't need to learn because you won't live to tell the tale, Izuku retorted defiantly. Oh, so now you've resorted to killing me. What happened to your being a good person? It's a lost cause. But just as you don't want to inflict pain on innocents, I want to inflict it on those who caused me pain. And yet you have blood on your hands, the other Izuku pointed out. I know I've made multiple mistakes, my own mistakes. I don't plan to repeat them unless I feel the need to, he admitted. Feel the need to? What do you mean by that? These powers weren't granted or given. They came to me through a series of unfortunate and fortunate incidents. Unfortunate because the creator could have used the power of the virus instead of me. Fortunate for me because the creator was foolish enough to lose control of his own creation. At last, Izuku realized he wasn't bound by responsibilities because of these powers. We could have saved so much time and effort, he thought. No, I am not bound by responsibilities because of these powers. I chose to be. I'm not you. I am myself. We are separate beings with different ambitions and wills. Yet with low intelligence, the alternate Izuku mocked. Suddenly, a huge monster emerged below Izuku, trying to crush him in its jaws. In reality, it was the alternate Izuku's whip fist enlarged by biomass. No matter how much you think you've become smarter and wiser, you will still be foolish from the moment you decided to protect just a little child. Wasn't that both our dream to become heroes? Izuku struggled to say. It used to be, but that dream washed away a long time ago. Time doesn't heal wounds, it only patches them temporarily. When talking with an enemy, keep an eye on all their actions, or it might cost you your life. As the alternate Izuku prepared to strike with full force, red transparent blades shot towards him, forcing him to dodge and retract his whip fist. Izuku landed on his feet as Falcon hovered above him. Sorry. I was trying to distract him to buy you guys some time, but I guess I was caught in his trap, Izuku apologized. Don't worry about that. Focus on the enemy. The jet is nearby, Falcon reassured him. Izuku and Falcon stood strong against the alternate Izuku. This bird guy won't be any help for you, the alternate Izuku taunted, using the giant whip fist as a monster. Fly away. Izuku urged as Falcon took to the sky, dodging the attack. Alright, you attack him from the ground, I will, Falcon began, but was grabbed by the throat by the alternate Izuku. Come here, birdie. You are no Hawkgirl or Hawkman. Izuku found himself in a precarious position, needing to save Falcon while dodging the whip fist monster. An idea struck him. He shape-shifted into whip fists and plunged them into the ground, channeling biomass into them. Suddenly, 2 giant whip fist monsters emerged, one near the alternate Izuku's whip fist and one directly below him. The one below attacked the hand holding Falcon, piercing it with sharp tentacles while the other appendages grabbed his arm, forcing him to release Falcon. As Falcon broke free, the alternate Izuku exclaimed, "How is this possible? A god doesn't bleed." He disintegrated the arm using laser vision. Izuku quickly detached his arm to save it, knowing he could regenerate. Come on, what happened? Izuku challenged. The alternate Izuku began shooting lasers at Izuku, who used biospeed force to dodge them. Suddenly, the alternate Izuku stopped firing, leaving Izuku confused. Without warning, he was struck down by the same laser. Ah? What? How? Izuku cried out. You redirected the laser at me like Darkseid, didn't you? Izuku accused. He was also consumed by me, and the power he holds in the form of a dimension was also consumed by me. You could say I became the Darkseid. The new god, the alternate Izuku boasted. Shouldn't you be scared of Yuga-Khan? If Darkseid is real in your universe, then he should be too. Izuku countered. Yuga-Khan is trapped in the source wall. A fool, after being saved, he again attacks the source wall to enter other universes when he could use a speedster as his means of transport. As thunder cracked, Mjolnir was directed towards the alternate Izuku. He dodged the hammer, thinking he was safe, only for it to turn around and strike him on the back of his head, causing him to falter. That hammer! Old gods! The alternate Izuku exclaimed. His eyes shone brightly as he shot an Omega beam at the Avenger jet. The jet was obliterated, but the Avengers escaped safely. Alright, this guy has heat vision like Hyperion, but he controls their path? Tony observed. Mjolnir will give this man a taste of his own medicine, Thor declared. Thor charged up lightning using Mjolnir and hurled it at the alternate Izuku. But the alternate Izuku used Biospeed Force to redirect the lightning at the Avengers. Thor deflected the lightning with Mjolnir. How annoying, the alternate Izuku growled, shape-shifting his hand into a blade. No, you don't. Izuku shouted, clashing against the alternate Izuku's blade with his own. Come on, why are you even helping them? They intercepted our fight. They need to die for it, the alternate Izuku sneered. I am not helping them. I am stopping you once and for all, Izuku declared. Oh, the ant finally grew wings. But you know there's a saying. When an ant grows wings, it indicates that it's on its way to its death. You can try. But I always come back. Izuku shouted, shooting an Omega beam at the alternate Izuku, causing him pain. This is becoming annoying. How did you gain that too? And how are you using them? You don't have their memories, the alternate Izuku complained. Maybe not their memories, but their instincts, Izuku replied. You are using the instincts and experiences of the people I have consumed. That's just cheating, the alternate Izuku fumed. Realizing he couldn't win, the alternate Izuku decided to take Izuku to Apocalypse. As he charged up Biospeed Force and prepared to run, he was struck by Mjolnir. You've got to be kidding me? He yelled. Then he was hit by Hulk. Hulk smash! Hulk roared. As the alternate Izuku prepared to strike with the blade, Hulk grabbed him by the neck and smashed him onto the ground multiple times. Izuku's voice rang out with desperation. Stop! I will. You! But his words were cut short as Hulk hurled him into the air. Before he could recover, Iron Man shot him down from above, sending him crashing to the ground. As he bounced off the earth, Captain America's shield struck him with precision. Stop, pesky creatures! Izuku shouted, seizing the shield that had been thrown at him. I am a destroyer. I've killed and consumed entire universes only to be thwarted by some Justice League wannabes. No, this won't end. My powers can't fully manifest outside of Apocalypse, but even without Darkseid's power, I am still the strongest there is. His tirade was interrupted by Hulk, who lunged at him, creating massive shockwaves. Hulk is the strongest there is. Hulk bellowed, smashing the ground with fury. Izuku retaliated, stabbing Hulk with his blade, but this only fueled Hulk's rage, leading to even greater destruction. Hulk smash! Hulk roared, delivering a devastating blow that shattered the surroundings. Izuku was taken aback by Hulk's strength. His pride wounded, he lashed out, enough! Rising to his feet, he declared, even a strong individual can be defeated through sheer numbers. Right? Then I will come with my soldiers. He tapped into the biospeed force within him and began to run, creating a portal to Apocalypse. Diamenet. I need to follow him. Thanks for the help, Avengers, he said, dashing into the Speed Force portal as it closed behind him. Hawkeye observed, we never got his name. Yeah. Iron Man replied as they hovered above. Captain America reflected, today was an odd day. We learned there are individuals from other universes stronger than us. Iron Man added, yeah, and we need to get stronger to defend our universe. But how? Black Widow questioned. Other than Thor and Hulk, all of us are normal humans except maybe Captain. I don't know where to start, Iron Man admitted, just as they heard something from above, the shield helicarrier. As they sped through the biospeed force, Izuku struggled to keep pace with his counterpart. They traveled through a wormhole, emerging into a demolished solar system where the sun seemed to be on its last breath. There were no planets, only debris. Izuku landed on a floating piece of debris, surveying the dark space filled with dead stars. It felt like an empty void. He wondered how powerful the other Izuku must be to cause such destruction. Spotting his counterpart, he took a fighting stance, but the other Izuku merely extended his hand, tearing the fabric of reality to open a rift to Apocalypse. Gazing at Izuku, he stepped into the rift. Izuku began to float, using Superman's flying ability, and followed him into Apocalypse. Upon entering, he was greeted by a world engulfed in fire, resembling hell itself. The oppressive atmosphere was far worse than he had imagined. Landing near his counterpart, Izuku declared, "Nowhere to run." The other Izuku, with bright red eyes, responded, "Who said I was running? It's foolish for me to deal with you right now. My army will take care of you." With a snap of his fingers, millions of Paradoomsday appeared. "You will feel my wrath now. I am not only a king, not only a god, but someone who defied all of reality. I broke my worthless destiny and crafted a new one," he proclaimed, pointing at Izuku. "Destroy him." The army of Paradoomsday surged toward Izuku. He fought back but struggled against their high healing factors and strength. Blood spilled everywhere as he was overwhelmed, some even dragging him toward the flesh-melting pits of Apocalypse. Despite the chaos, he continued to fight, determined to survive. The other Izuku kept creating more Paradoomsday, sending them after him relentlessly. After what felt like an eternity, the other Izuku finally had to stop due to a lack of resources. He sent parademons to find resources outside Apocalypse, but there was little left to salvage. On the last day of creating Paradoomsday, the sounds of battle cries faded. The other Izuku believed he had won, thinking his opponent had given up. What he didn't realize was that for years, the cries he heard were not just his opponent's but also the cries of the invincible Paradoomsday he had sent after him. After 3 days of silence, Izuku emerged from the depths of Apocalypse. All was silent and lifeless. He wore the fallen monsters' carcasses as a makeshift outfit. The parademons informed the other Izuku of his arrival, leaving him dumbfounded as he faced the battle-hardened Izuku. "Wow. I actually thought you died," the other Izuku said, astonished. As he looked at him with surprise and amazement, Izuku spoke up. "But honestly, it's time to stop. It's been 1,000 years since it started." He appeared lifeless, showing no emotions. Suddenly, he launched towards his counterpart with incredible strength, delivering a devastating blow. Dust filled the air, blinding everyone. Izuku thought it was all over, but when the dust settled, he saw his opponent unscathed, while the land behind him lay in ruins. Izuku launched another attack, but it barely scratched his opponent's skin. He fired a powerful laser, only for it to have no effect. "What?" he exclaimed, preparing to slice him with his blade, but it proved useless. Without even looking, his opponent delivered a powerful uppercut that shattered the reality around them, causing Izuku's head to explode. However, he didn't consume him. As his body rose, Izuku caught his leg and swung him like a sword, destroying the Apocalypse dimension, which began to collapse into others. Suddenly, Izuku woke up on a dying sun. He looked around to find his counterpart resting on a throne made of giant humanoid skeletons. "What happened? Why am I here lying on this dead sun?" he asked. The other Izuku, still resting with his eyes closed, began to speak. "After destroying Apocalypse, World Forger and Spectre came to kill me due to the damage I caused." "What? How are you even alive then?" Izuku demanded. "By killing them," came the reply. "This doesn't make any sense." Izuku stood up and climbed down from the throne. "It's time to end it forever." "Did you really destroy Apocalypse?" Izuku's voice trembled with anger as he realized his empire had been demolished. The other Izuku nodded. "You monster! You destroyed my empire?" "Ah, nice one. I haven't laughed for so long. You and I really are not that different. I was a fool to think we were different. But it's better to be the worst so that the universe stays safe. You claimed that you destroyed multiple universes, yet none of their entities tried to stop you. Do you know why?" "What are you talking about?" Izuku demanded. "If you want to destroy a universe, you have to destroy most of its dimensions. Only then will the universe be extinguished. But you probably only destroyed one dimension of the universes you claimed to have destroyed. You are lying." I can guarantee you I am not lying. You are just weak. Izuku shouted defiantly, I am not weak. As he spoke, he grew larger, his lower torso swallowed by the darkness of space. You are weak. You will pay for destroying my empire, my legacy. He prepared to strike with a giant hammer fist, but in an instant, half of his massive form was obliterated. Wah! He gasped, looking down to see the other Izuku unharmed, pointing a fist at him. Like I said, you are weak, and it's time to end this. The other Izuku flew upward, his right hand transforming into a glowing red claw. In his battles with powerful entities, he had developed new moves, Omega Laser-powered claws. He sliced through space, red lines appearing across the first Izuku's body, ultimately reducing him to molecules and consuming him. As he absorbed the memories of how he had deceived many to gain power and status, Izuku felt disgusted. But it was over now. The final blow caused the entire universe to begin disappearing. He watched as darkness consumed everything. I need to limit my power and strength so that I don't destroy my own universe, he resolved. Charging his biospeed force, he opened a portal to another universe. Despite his newfound power, he struggled to find the exact portal to his universe. He raced through the portal, leaving the void behind. Suddenly, he found himself in a desert-like landscape in another universe. Where am I? Why the hell am I in a desert? He wondered, spotting a road in the distance. As he walked toward it, rain began to fall. Wow, that was the only thing missing, he muttered. In his mind, he considered using his biospeed force to find a wormhole or the nearest city, but controlling it was still difficult. He decided to walk and try to hitch a ride instead. As he prepared to walk, a police car sped by. He tried to flag it down for a ride, but the officers seemed to be fleeing from something. He followed in their direction, hoping to find a nearby city or town. As he walked, he heard a horn and turned to see a truck approaching. He attempted to hitch a ride, but the truck didn't stop. Stepping aside, he muttered, God damn it. I should have stayed on the road so the driver would see what would happen if he didn't stop. He continued toward a city that appeared bright from a distance, seemingly lively. However, as he approached, the truth became clear. It was in shambles and on fire. A sign read, Welcome to Raccoon City. Izuku stood in Raccoon City, surveying the barren, desolate landscape. There's no jungle or forest around, so why is it called Raccoon City? He wondered. It was clear he was not in Japan. The city name lacked Japanese characters. As he walked, he stumbled upon bodies scattered amidst burning buildings, with a couple of people disturbing the scene. What the? He muttered, noticing a tanker ablaze, likely the cause of the chaos. Suddenly, a figure lunged at him, and he instinctively grabbed it by the throat. Ah, it growled. This guy is a zombie, Izuku thought, contemplating the cause of its transformation. Driven by curiosity, he decided to consume the creature. As he did, he sensed another virus within it, the source of its condition. Blacklight 2.0 absorbed the virus, granting him new abilities, though he remained unaware that he himself was a virus. So, a virus created this. Makes sense, he mused. Another zombie charged at him, and he kicked it into a wall, reducing it to a mushy mess. Determined to understand the situation better, he considered starting at the hospital but decided to search for survivors first. His first destination was the police station, guided by the memories of the zombie he had consumed. Upon reaching the police station, he spotted several zombies between him and the closed gate, which hinted at the possibility of survivors inside. He jumped over the gate and attempted to enter through the door, only to find it locked. With a forceful pull, he broke it open, revealing two armed individuals inside, one with dark skin and the other with blonde hair. Whoa, no need to be so scary, guys, Izuku said, raising his hands. Who the hell are you? The door was locked with 3 locks, the blonde man replied. Listen, I'm not infected like those outside, Izuku assured them. The black man, holding his wounded arm, winced in pain. Sheet, he exclaimed, sitting down on a nearby bench. Don't worry about me, I'm far from help. Check him for any signs of infection or bite marks. If he's safe, he can help you, Leon, the lieutenant said weakly. But there's still hope for you, Marvin. Leon protested. It's too late for me. Just go try to find the exit, Marvin insisted. Leon approached Izuku to check for signs of infection. Well, looks like he's not infected, Leon noted. Yeah, I wasn't bitten, Izuku confirmed. What's your name? Leon asked. Izuku. No last name? Leon inquired. Yeah, none. Well, there's no bite or infection on you, so you're safe. But how did you break the door? Leon asked. Protein. Izuku replied, shrugging. Never mind, Leon said, walking over to check on Marvin, who had lost consciousness. Leon clicked his tongue, disturbed by the lieutenant's condition. He took Marvin's gun and handed it to Izuku. Here, you can use this. I don't need it, Izuku said. It's for protection against the zombies, Leon insisted. My hands and legs are enough for them. If you get bit, I'm going to blow your head off, Leon warned. Yeah, if you can, Izuku shot back. They headed upstairs to find a way out of the city and contact the government. As they walked through the ravaged hallways of the police department, they encountered bodies of police officers, some gruesomely disfigured. Hey, we need to split up. It'll make the search faster but also more dangerous. What do you think? Leon suggested. Sure, I guess. What exactly are we searching for? Izuku asked. There are 3 special rooms with unique door handles. This clover key, Leon said, pulling it from his pocket, is for one of the doors. If you find a key like this, keep it, it will help. I can just rip the door off, Izuku replied. Yeah, I suppose if you can, Leon conceded. But be prepared for multiple monsters. I've already faced one, and I'm not sure if it's even dead. Aha, Izuku said, starting to wander off. Hey, wait. Leon called. Izuku turned back. What? If you find a girl named Claire Redfield, try to help her, all right? Really? Even in this situation, you're thinking about a girl. Izuku teased. No, she saved my life twice and I couldn't help her, Leon explained. All right, love boy, I'll do my best. Just let her know Leon was the one who helped her, Izuku replied with a grin. Just go, Leon said, rolling his eyes. Izuku navigated through 3 offices, eliminating several zombies along the way. He managed to break into a safe and discovered a shotgun inside. As he continued his search for the special keys, the sound of a helicopter buzzing overhead caught his attention. It seemed like a rescue operation was underway, but suddenly, the helicopter crashed into the police department. Izuku hurried toward the crash site and spotted Leon running toward him. Leon dashed past him, shouting for him to run. Izuku turned to see a large man in a poorly designed trench coat approaching. Just then, the hallway collapsed, blocking the path of the imposing figure. Izuku mused to himself, so now there are 4 people here. Love boy, zombified boy, love girl, and a big boy? Whatever, I really can't criticize a universe when my own is full of humans with powers. He retraced his steps to find Leon. Why are you running away from that guy? Izuku asked. Leon replied, because he was trying to squash my head. Didn't you see his hostility? Izuku conceded, fair enough, I haven't seen him do anything. Did you find anything? Leon inquired. Not exactly, but I did find you a shotgun, Izuku said, handing the weapon to Leon. Wow, okay, that's nice. But wouldn't you want to keep it for yourself? Leon asked. Izuku shrugged. Nah, my ops will catch these hands, he said, playfully showing his hands to Leon. Well, suit yourself, buddy. Did you find the keys? Leon asked. Izuku shook his head. Nope. Damn it. I was hoping you would. Let's go to Marvin. I have some information on how to get the keys, Leon suggested. Yeah, sure, let's go, Izuku agreed. As they entered the room where they had left Marvin, they were met with a shocking sight. Marvin had turned into a zombie. Oh no! Leon exclaimed. Zombie boy turned zombie, Izuku remarked. Would you quit it? Leon retorted. What? He said he was far from help, Izuku defended. Ignoring him, Leon approached the zombie. I am sorry, Lieutenant. Even though you saved me, I have to put you to rest. As the zombie advanced, Leon fired the shotgun, blowing its head off. The body fell to the floor. Leon was about to check the laptop Marvin had been using when he stepped on something. It was a dog tag, Marvin's. He bent down to pick it up and pocketed it before turning his attention to the laptop. To his surprise, Marvin had already been searching for the keys before he turned. "Marvin, you son of a gun," Leon muttered. Meanwhile, Izuku was fiddling with the typewriter. "Man, this thing is ancient." "Hey, Dean, did you find anything from the laptop?" "Yeah. Just wait a little," Leon replied. As Izuku continued to mess with the typewriter, he accidentally pressed this key. A funny idea struck him, and he began typing, "Save 1, time XX, XX, XX date XX/XX/XX." Izuku smiled, just like a particular zombie game. Chapter end.